to the trees flying in from We Are.
Yeah, they're healing him up though with Flyby. They at least have those Nature's Attendants to make sure that they don't have to back up and use one of their shrines, or actually they don't need, yeah, top shrines actually used, but the bottom one's not. But they keep themselves around the area, and this is all it's about. Control the Rosh.
It does make it difficult for sets, you know, as an OD, you want to go in and just start hitting people, but you have to be so wary of your positioning. You cannot stand in the same place for too long, as the whole area is going to be covered with trees.
Covered with trees, covered with spark wraiths, covered with ice vortex. A lot of things on the ground you got to be careful of. As Rosh will be spotting, and it's going to be an Aghanims, not the Refresher Shard.
Oh, who's happy to get an Ags? Quite a few of these heroes, right? I mean,
quite a few. I think the Sand King, just for that initial long distance, like he can just stun in and then blink out a lot of times rather than committing himself so much. For Liquid, that is. While on the side of RNG, I think it's Enchantress, right? Enchantress or Lanem?
I was meant to have this.
Either one of them sound pretty good. As yeah, more level 25s coming out. How many people are level 25 in this game? Everybody except for the 5 positions.
At the rate we're going, they should get the chance to get there.
Yep. As long as they survive in the fights, they keep just dying. There's just so much damage.
We've seen so many times both teams just having to buy back on the supports.
Yeah, they just die immediately, they buy back, they run up to the fight, they're like, hey, I wanted some XP. As we see, continuous spark race set up, a Flyby. He knows his job. He's like, okay, I'll tank 1 or 2, back up for a second. Ensure that Liquid does not control the area too hard.
RNG.
Still making
They want to try and start something over Liquid's half of the map before going into Roche. The Hex from the low ground. Starting to poke onto Weehaw. He's actually going to jump in. Looks to go for the support straight away. They're on top of the Bane. Who's out of the fight. Does not have the luxury of buying back. It's unavailable. It's now Liquid. Mind control. Burrow striking away. Jumps in. He's a little scared of getting hexed. He's just trying to sort of wreck the situation. They've got eyes for it. Flyby. That's the damage we're talking about. Weehaw. The trees with that Daedalus just destroying the Enchantress. There's nothing untouchable about her now.
Making their way now into the pit. There is a DD rune on Monet, and they do have their buybacks available now. Mafu as well as Flyby do have theirs. But this area, the spark rates are already starting to be set up. But this Rosh is starting to drop pretty quickly here.
I don't think you're getting into the pit as RNG unless you want to commit with those buybacks. 3 versus 5, the damage that Liquid have. Taking Roche down at an incredible pace.
Who's taking
Axe is on the floor, is going GH.
It's going to go to G. Okay, it's going to go to GH.
I mean, you can respect that. This is a GH Rubik.
Absolutely.
Believe in the GH Rubik.
The frequency of spells stolen in this game could be really nice. And even if he's able to get Astral, like I said, Astral, with an Aghanims, you get that increased cast range, you get that, of course, double charges, more multiple forms of safety, allow your teammates also to get BKBs off it. As we see, these fights are so much about who gets the jump off and who just instantly brings down a hero. I mean, he has a lot of different things he can steal, but Serpent Warren is probably the best ones, but yeah, there's lots of different things. They make themselves out outside of that pit area with that Aegis and that Cheese now. My Miracle also sitting at, you know, just a casual 10,000 gold.
Oh.
That's why we're not even gonna look at the net worth advantages too much anymore, because you know everyone's pretty rich. It's all just buyback.
It is always a good point to make, though. Says 10k gold in the bank. So Liquid that 6k lead. They're in reality sort of 4k behind before he buys something up with that. Yeah. In terms of effective net worth.
Well, but then you also look at Monet and he's 8,000.
Oh,
so, you gotta look at that back and forth.
And then we end up having to do a lot of math. So in fact, let's not look at that at all.
Exactly.
Let's not look at that at all.
Liquid. Starting to set up here. They want to get this, like, just initiation, getting that high ground control. Super important in this game.
It's a scary push to make, but when the refresh orb's available for Setsu, pushing into a double sanities when RNG are going to have that high ground advantage, it's not going to be easy for Liquid.
It is starting to feel like Liquid is starting to get some good control of the game here, though, into these crazy later stages of the game, as an Aghanim's also now going to be delivered for an Arc Warden. So, you know, spawning those ruins, you can spawn ruins.
I don't think I've ever got the treat of seeing that one.
I actually don't think I have either.
Here we go. I mean, maybe he gets lucky. If he gets a DD, hands it over the way of We Are. Those trees.
No, He just wants bounty runes.
Okay.
Oh, he gets a DD right away.
Hey, there we have it. There we have it.
Give it a wee heart.
Give it a wee heart.
Yep.
Oh, I like the sound it made. I've never heard
I actually
that
not heard
before.
that either.
I didn't know. Look at that. Whoa.
Oh, what's that one make?
Oh, that sounds...
Oh, he spawned a bounty.
Oh.
More gold. What's the cooldown even on it? 55.2. Oh, okay.
Not too bad.
That's not that bad.
You get out of every 10 double.
Yeah, they've got the DD rune out on the Tiny. So look at this. Weeha's pinging on the trees. He's positioned over here. They're starting to set up the Spark Wraith trap.
Looking at the double. Weehaw.
They're trying to do the toss back play onto the Spark Wraith. They're trying for
They
it.
are trying. It's going to cost Weehaw that BKB charge.
We were hoping for it in this game, and it looks like they're actually trying to set up.
Sensu's in. Popping the BKB. He's going to slide straight past the race with the BKB active. But the BKB, of course, is not a long duration anymore. They have to make so much happen within those very few seconds.
And it's scary. There's that massive trap of Spark Wraiths
You
right
cannot
there.
go near here.
Can't go near that area.
You're going to get tossed straight into it.
Tossed or telekinesis. Monet commits forward. He's on Miracle.
Hey, that's straight away. Monet,
He just
dead.
exploded.
He is dead, and I believe he used his buyback before he died. He did. He's already used his buyback, so he doesn't have it
No,
for
he's
the
back up.
second.
He's back up.
No, but that's right. His
Okay,
BKB.
yeah.
His
Gotcha.
BKB.
Yep,
He
yep,
doesn't have the BKB for this fight.
He does not indeed.
There's the
Sensu's coming
first
forward.
one. Setsu. He's in already, though. Weeha's picked up the double kill. Setsu. He's looking to try and turn a focus, but Mike Jones in.
Setsu.
The MP, the power strike. He's on top of Setsu. Setsu's dead. The buyback straight away. They've lost land of RNG. They're going to have to use a lot of buybacks for this. They've got
tree bomb.
careful. Can they get both the trees? They are, but Flyby will be safe. The Nightmare and the Force stuff gets him out of there.
He gets his cheese off as well, so he's back at full HP.
Setsu blinking forward, trying to find a catch, but Liquid, they're on the high ground, and they are out of there. They're able to get themselves away. 4 buybacks being used by RNG as Liquid, they only lose Miracle.
And he has buyback available.
So this next 7 minutes of the game, RNG have got to be incredibly cautious. A core death now could mean the end of this game and the end of their hopes and dreams here at TI.
But we know how aggressive they are. They look like they want to set up to try to go
This
for
is
some
a
type of play
huge
here.
risk to take.
Absolutely, and they still have a lot of gold, right? Monet, he used his buyback. He still has 7,000 gold to spend. He hasn't bought up the moon shard just yet.
I don't think
They just
can they
want their
really go
focus.
for something. They don't have a sanities. They don't have the refresher. I don't think RNG can make an aggressive play here.
They still have shrines that they can take too. So now they will back up. They will take these and they will spend their immense amount of gold on that gyrocopter any second now. And there it is. Oh, he actually gave the Enchantress the moon shard instead of himself.
Whoa, what a bro.
Oh, that was
Monet.
What a guy.
I mean, the damage that Flyby kicks out and the safe distance that he's able to do so.
He also
can respect that.
He is going to have an Aghanims too, so it is going to give him that Tricore. He is packing a punch. He dies really easily, but he does hurt.
What a
he
team
is able to.
Yeah, Monet, what a team player. Also, another point, obviously Monet, he doesn't have buyback, Enchantress does. So, effectively, there's going to be more use out of that moon shard. If Monet's dead, that would have been a moon shard that was eaten and taken to the grave. Flyby is going to be able to have that guarantee of getting back in the game and continue to getting the hits off. Does how much gold is he away from having the Ags and the buyback? About 700 gold, and have the Aghanims and buyback.
But all of Liquid, they're grouped up. They have all 5 buybacks.
They do.
Only has the one.
They know that they're in a very powerful position right now, Liquid.
And they've all got what? They're probably all queuing up the Boots of Travel / Boots of Travel 2 so they can buy back and come right back into the fight. Weeha's even queued up a second data list, and he has an ED inside of the bottle. We see those runes continue to be spawned by Miracle. So we are going to have to watch out for those crits with that tree volley.
Kuro's got his Dagon.
He's got the Dagon. He actually had an Ags queued up and he switched. He wants to just instantly bring down targets when their BKBs are gone. Not about that long ticking AA blast. He just wants to blow someone up as soon as BKBs
At this point, if they just burst someone straight away, without that buyback availability, the fight, it should just naturally fall in favor of Liquid.
Ooh, I just heard it again. Oh, you got a bounty rune that time. And another bounty rune. I love late game Dota now. It's gotten so crazy.
It's getting crazy. 63 minutes here on the main stage between Liquid and RNG. 39 to 27, 17K for Liquid, as we say. Still this rocky period for RNG. 4-5 minutes until buybacks are back online. Liquid are absolutely going to want to try and pressure this.
And again, you see them setting up the trap. If someone walks out too far, the toss back or the lift back is likely to happen. They really want it to happen here in this game. Flyby. is stepping up. Weehaw, they're glimmering him.
I mean, they know, RNG.
They have to know.
They're not going to fall for that.
He's even standing on it. He's like, all right, Weehaw, you got a target to toss back to. Because he didn't take the toss no target in this game, since he has a core that transition, so he wants to do it again.
It's sort of risky as well, right? If Weehaw wants to blink high ground, make that commitment, he has to pop BKB first, because he knows that instant hexes are going to come out.
Yes.
So then if he does that, he's committing a BKB charge, and that's the point where RNG themselves may see the chance to collapse back in on Liquid, knowing that Weehaw won't have that magic immunity.
Yeah. Weehaw. Throwing some trees at the supports. Alpha taking half his HP from that one.
Yeah, just look at this as well, because of this Arc Warden. He's got an active DD and a DD in a bowl. There's just DDs for days on Weehaw. He is going to have a very high uptime on the chance of getting constant double damage runes.
You don't even have to back up and collect power runes. Don't have to back up and collect your bounties. You can just keep spawning them.
I mean, that's so 2018, you know. This is 2019. And Miracle just giving them all the runes that they need. Not for long. We're only halfway through the year, Giannis. What's going to happen?
TI's all that matters. More runes, another arcane rune, so Miracle, he's going to be able to spawn runes even more frequently.
He jumps in. He tried for the toss back, but this is the problem. Instant hexes are there. We are dead. That's the risk he plays when he jumps in without using the BKB. And
Miracle.
Now they'll move in for more. Look at the X on the backline. There's collapsing on the Miracle. Miracle's dead as well. Flyby is surrounding the double. They'll be able to follow some extra gold on top of those 2 core kills.
Ooh. Little bit of missed micro there from Miracle. He sent his double and he's actually stood still with his hero for a second. And RNG, they have that ward on the high ground there. They saw him standing still for a second. Setsu with no hesitation jumping forward.
I mean, that is a huge sigh of relief as well for RNG with Miracle dead. By the time he's back in the game, that whole duration of the buybacks being on cooldown is going to be pretty much over.
Yep, and they forced Weehaw to buy back and run all the way back to the fight.
That was, Weehaw trying to get in like that.
They're trying hard
about
to do
the
the
risk. It's never going to work.
It's too risky.
Look, there's so much instant catch from RNG. That play is probably only going to work 5% of the time.
Yep.
If they've got their keyboards unplugged, I don't know.
They're prepared for it. They know it's coming. I mean, if we know it's coming, they know it's coming for sure. So they are prepared for it every single time with those quick hexes and quick fingers.
And there's no hesitation from RNG.
Mind Control will kill that DD rune up top with his illusion, and Roche is back up. So Refresher Shard and an Aghanims now. And there's a lot of fun things that can happen, right? We do have a Shadow Shaman in the game. Shadow Shaman's level 25. Shadow Shaman has an Aghs. Give him this Refresher Shard. They're probably going to give it a sense.
I mean, I just want to see the triple sanities. I'm pretty sure you just need to steal the tiniest bit of a triple sanities.
But the triple wards
is going to kill people. Well,
the wards. Give it to him. Did they give it to Lana? They did.
Yeah, but it's not going to be triple.
I mean, he's got the double.
He's got quite a bit of time for his own refresher.
He's got the other one queued up, but yeah. The potential is there for lots of fun things.
Wait, who got the axe? Oh, Setsu right.
They end up giving it to Setsu. Yeah, he had it queued up. 67 minutes in.
And still no real way of telling which way this game's going to fall.
Nope, it's just so much up to who gets the jumps and who executes the fights better. Throw the late game predictions out the window.
I think overall, RNG, they're probably kicking themselves a little bit more. When we sort of look back to that dive up top, definitely a stage of the game where I think RNG could have really got themselves ahead. That mistake did cost them, sort of brought the game to this point where Liquid, they've kept it all even, they've forced back. The pressure has been on RNG, but now their buybacks are coming back available. Liquid, that whole 7 minutes, were unable to break into the high ground, make anything happen. They're going to try for a jump now onto the supports outside of the base, but the safety's there. Astral from Setsu keeps Lanham out of harm's way and away from the Tempest double. They'll turn. Easy money for RNG. It's a 2K difference. Who's going to slip up? Who's going to make that mistake? That's what it all comes down to here on the main stage. The pressure is on for both of these teams, especially so in this game 2 for RNG. Down a game already in this best of 3 in the lower bracket.
I'm very hopeful for some crazy plays coming out. Some team fight happening, and then we see Lanem just backdoor the base or something with some Aghanim Serpent Wards.
I mean, that could happen.
There's the potential.
And we could also see Miracle backdoor in the base. You know, there's rap potential on both halves. And it says, especially so if Weehaw gets in as well, he can make short work of the towers too.
Monet. Well, just pop that Titanic. They won't kill the Tempest double in time. Double sanities ready.
Monet, he's got the money. Is he? I guess at this point he's definitely buying the Moonshot for himself. No one else really needs it. Setsu's already got one. And not going to be giving one to the supports.
Yep, you'd imagine so. Yeah, I mean, a Bane with a Moonshard though, come on.
Okay, sure. Right-click Bane, I remember.
It's crazy how the Bane has the 40% XP gain talent and he's still not 25. Poor Apu. Just getting punished. 14, 0, 14, and 14.
What are you taking at 25 on a Bane anyway nowadays?
I mean, the Fiend Script duration could definitely just change the tide of the fight if you're able to get this situation. I don't think he's really going to get brain saps off anyway, so might as well go for the big play, right?
See what they can do here. The fight's going to begin. He's in the trees as well. It's just destroying the tower. Monet is dead. Immediately, Lennon will drop the ones, but he's gone. The Linkers pop. That will allow them to control Setsu with the Yules. Setsu's not messing around. PKP and a blink out as he has to get out of there. They lose 2 heroes immediately. RNG to the volley of trees from Wii. They cannot push into this Tiny very easily at all.
He killed them just in no time.
With one spell.
He clicked one button.
He gave them the... What button is it? I won't say that. Tree front, tree volley.
Tree volley.
It hurts. It really does. It really does. And as we're saying, he has consistent double damage runes.
Every single time he will have a DD in the fight.
Thanks to the Aghanim's Arc Warden.
What do you even... Try to find a solution. I mean, they just have to try to catch him, but Weehaw just gonna now sit in the back for the most part for the next like 2 minutes or so, unless he's trying to actually commit forward here on the flyby. Double crit. They will be able to clean up that double. The range racks looks like the catapults will bring it down this time, but it's a 70-minute range racks. They're pinging. The Arcane Rune is prepared. Miracle's gonna probably pick that one up, set up more Spark Wraiths. And they're trying to go for the racks here.
They don't want to buy back on Monet. They want to try and hold the best they can without having to use it. But maybe Liquid can poke it out. Setsu forces out the BKB from Miracle. Slide away for now.
Flyby. The Spark Wraiths. Okay, he's got the Aegis still. He's really starting to eat quite a lot of those there, as he doesn't seem to really care.
Hey, just soaking them up.
But now, is it enough to bring him down? They're gonna pop the Aegis.
Just time and attention drawn away from the melee racks and from the fact that Monet's still dead. And Monet will be back up. They don't have to use his buyback. They keep it safe. Miracle
is committing for it. They're actually gonna pop the glyph to protect it.
That's another barrier. Crossed by Liquid, bit by bit. Breaking down the defenses of RNG as Liquid will reform back outside of the base. They know that they're gonna have the full 5-man back in the game, RNG. Ready for the hold.
It's crazy when you just spawn your own Arcane Rune and then you just can spawn more runes faster and set up like these ridiculous constant Spark Wraiths, 1.2 second cooldowns. It's just insane how much control they have inside of the fight in these areas. The supports just walking into this is brutal.
And it's just awesome to see, you know, at this stage, this deep into the competition, we're just seeing new ways of play.
Yeah.
New heights of the game.
AA Blast. Not gonna connect onto Monet there. Still dropping low to those sparks though.
RNG get themselves out and over. Setsu find himself an Arcane Rune. Wouldn't be too shabby with the old Sanities and Refresher Orbs. Those big cooldowns getting taken down a little bit.
30 seconds until Weehaw has
the trees. BKB's popping the trees, they're hurt. Monet. Every single time, whoever gets caught in that volley has to immediately escape. They're now in threat of maybe even losing Flyby. Astral will be able to try and save the tree again. This damage done by Weehaw.
They want more.
It's just 1,200 hits every single time. Setsu is going to jump. They've got the Hex control under mind control, but he's forced down to the low ground. The BKB's been used by Setsu. They'll juke out the tree volley. Monet and Setsu looking for the wraparound. BKB is unavailable for Setsu though. He has to be very cautious about how he commits. Flyby buying back.
They know this vision on this high ground. Liquid already starting to ping it out. They've got the gem available too. They will be able to clear those. 400 gold for an Obs Ward for Kuroki. Top though, look at Lanem. He's feeling sneaky.
Oh. I mean, that's very pushed in this top lane.
They've got Miracle already TPing back though.
Backdoor protection will be down a little bit. We'll see how if that is long enough for them to get in.
The volley.
Oh, Afu! There is just no hope for anyone held underneath that damage, and at the same time, Jarrett saved for now by the Astral Setsu. Trying to get him out of there. They'll turn towards mind control. The BKB's out from Money. Commits onwards towards Kuroki, chasing down the AA. Glimmer King keeps Kuro safe. Back over towards the bigger focus. Shackles are attempted. Astral's going to be down. They've lost Adam. He's dead for 2 minutes. Flyby sitting back, offering up the impetus, and they'll kill off mind control. GH tries to jump forward. Setsu's back in with the BKB. They'll kill off the Tempest double. It's mind control buys back.
Oh my god, the 3 volley Setsu. 2 crits. And another crit.
Oh, it hurts.
God.
It hurts so bad.
The frequency of crits because of these data line.
It seems like he's hitting a crit on every tree.
Pretty much, it does seem to be. My god. So hard to
I mean, how do you fight this? How do you stop the Tiny from sitting at the side? Are you just hoping they're going to run out of trees soon?
They're starting to. There's not that many left in that area, but Liquid will finally perch up and get the first set of racks of the game at 75 minutes in.
We're going to start seeing what Kuro are bringing out the GG branches and planting them around Weeha.
That would be fun. I think this might be the most current gold I've ever seen. 18,000 on Miracle.
Whoa. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You know, he did do well at
They got the control. Monet, get it brought down.
He's got buyback. He's got buyback. He's going to be Setsu committing on the back line. Burrow strikes out from Mike. Tries revving up the epicenter. He's on top of Setsu, but Weeha's dead. They've managed to eliminate the threat of the Tiny. Triple buybacks from Liquid. They want to keep the pressure on. Telekinesis dragging back the Oni. They've got through the Linkers. They've got through his life. Setsu is gone. 5 versus 3. Liquid pushing in. No support buybacks available from RNG. And do they have the cooldowns? What are we seeing? Refresher is available for Setsu. He can come in with another Eclipse. But it's the mid towers slowly being sieged by Liquid. As the first tier 4 will fall.
There's no trees in this area. That's the one thing that Liquid does not have right now.
That's Weeha's one weakness.
Yep.
He needs the trees.
A Miracle bringing down the tier 4s. The second one down to 600.
Honestly,
they look happy with that. They're backing up.
I know I joke, but maybe you do want to bring some GG boosters over. Start doing a little bit for the environment, planting those trees.
Just who does? They don't even have room for it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's I guess it's a little awkward with the inventories if you start placing down trees in the enemy's base.
We see Miracle is really starting to get pressured though by Flyby inside of these fights. He's starting to not pay attention to his hero, and he's just getting impetus down, but they still do have great control as the rest of them are still dealing so much damage and control versus RNG. Setsu really trying to hold on to double sanities. You see him, he's holding on to his BKB and his refresher so often in these.
Whoa.
And Roche, is this going to be the one shot?
It's not going to be a one shot, surely. Yeah, it won't be, not at this stage. Roche is surely too strong. He's got a lot of Wraiths down. I mean, how much? Maybe I'd say 50%, 40%. Hang on, RNG! They're in. Mind Control's going to try and come back in with a Burrow strike on a fly, but X out. Setsu drops the first sanity. They've got the lockdown. Astral's going to be there. They'll move in Monet with a BKB up towards the high ground. They've looked for the kill with their Hex out. They should be able to get him. Setsu continue to rack up the end. He'll keep himself safe. Kill Miracle. Miracle. He has no buyback. Dead for 2 minutes.
But Setsu's isolated.
And RNG have lost everything for getting Miracle. Once again, it's cost them 5 lives.
And that's got to be it now at this point.
They don't have Miracle, they don't have Mind Control, but the last 3 of them, there's got to be a little bit of pushing power in the...
Draw the line down
for them. They're going to go straight up the top.
Tiny.
He's ready. Looking to end the game with Weeha, Kuro, and GH alive. They'll go straight on towards the tier 4s. Deso's picked up by GH. GG. It's scored. Liquid take game 2 at 78 minutes in. Taking the series 2-0, knocking RNG out of the competition, and Liquid, they'll continue to just look stronger and stronger as they make this road through the lower bracket. They're moving on, Fog.
And holy crap, Weeha, right? In this game, sure, you see he's getting overshadowed by everybody else. You know, Miracle with this ridiculous Arc Warden farm, but Weeha, these tree volleys, time and time again, just bringing down Monet. Monet just got shredded in every single fight.
Without that tree volley.
Let's see the damage numbers. Let's have some fun right here.
There was definitely potential for RNG in those fights, but they just could not withstand this output of damage that We Are was able to get him from a distance. So he got 72,000 hero damage done by We Are. And of course, Miracle with those spark rates, it all added up throughout the game. I believe probably the second highest amount of hero damage we've seen so far this TI9, 126,000 hero damage done.
And look at damage received, because these are also sometimes that are crazy. 240,000 damage received by Miracle in this game. Some crazy numbers coming out. 900 last hits. Probably some, records being broken all over the place. We'll have Mahaz or somebody tell us about those. But what a game. Both teams fighting it back and forth. Looked like anybody could have taken it, but Liquid overall a bit more perseverance and a bit more control inside of those fights.
Crazy game 2 here on the main stage. But Liquid, they come out on top, taking the series 2-0. They'll win and move on, and we'll see if they've won some of the belief of the panelers. Liquid, are they back on form?
Well, they are back on form, at least in the sense of the international, because they move on and they guarantee themselves another top 6 finish at TI. Unfortunately, that is it from RNG. They've done pretty well, it has to be said. We'll wrap up on them with our panel members right now and talk about what an incredible last game. I mean, 78 minutes, second longest at TI9, third highest damage ever at a TI, by the way, on a single player, 126,000. It was an enjoyable.
Yeah, it really was.
Because sometimes you go along and you kind of, come on, get on with it. One of you's going to win. You know one of you can't win and one can. This one, it could have gone either way the whole way through.
Yeah, it was a very back-and-forth matchup. GH on the Rubik stealing the saves because they didn't have that many saves on Radiant, so he had to be the one who had to do it. And how are you ever going to push high ground into a tiny Ags and the Arc Warden, right? And we saw it. They just finally got into the base, and what could you do at that point?
Lacoste, are you a believer now?
Definitely. One of the European teams are taking this one home. Incredible late game Dota. I don't think Dota was ever in the history this entertaining. Once you get to those Aghanim Scepter upgrades, the runes, level 25 talents, it's just beautiful to watch. Anything can happen.
You go back 4 or 5 years, late game Dota was about like playing safe, not going on the map, but now it's like you have to contest Roshan. It's got Ags, it's got Refresher. You have to contest these runes. DD, Arcane Runes late game will win you the game. And as a result, it's so action-packed. It's crazy.
If you don't have the runes, you buy Aghanim Scepter, you spawn the runes.
You make your own. make your own. I'm going to get more reaction from all 3 panelists in just a moment, but let's head over to Casey right now, who's with Mind Control after a wonderful victory.
Mind Control, how you doing?
Very good.
Need to take a few breaths?
Yeah, it was a very intense game.
Very long game, and I want to take us back to, I think it was right before minute 40, and you just kind of, I think, opened the game. You wide open. You go in there, you take a guess, you save a couple of your guys. How do you, you look like, okay, deep breaths all together. You're taking risks when you're playing at a high level just a couple of games away from exiting TI. How are you able to play with that level of confidence?
I mean, we had a talk, win or lose, just do it together. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. We just have to play good Dota, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to outplay them. And we just don't have that much pressure when we think that even if we lose, it's okay. There's no pressure anymore.
Does that make late game a little bit easier since you've taken that pressure off of yourselves once it's been going that long, back and forth?
Not really, because late game is really random and you don't really know what's going on, so you have to just do something. But Arc Warden is the hero that makes you feel good in late game, so he definitely helped us a lot.
You didn't do as well in group stage as I'm sure you were hoping to, and yet since taking main stage, you have won every single game. Every single game that you have played at TI9 main stage, you have won. Did you have a big discussion about how you were going to kind of refocus coming into main stage? What's changed?
I mean, honestly, the biggest difference is that we actually started playing good. We actually woke up. I don't know what happened. I mean, for me personally, after the opening ceremony, I just woke up. I just saw those videos on the big TV, and I woke up.
Yeah.
And I think my team also woke up, and it feels really good. That's what I feel about it.
What do you want to say about the fans here? Because, we're playing TI in China for the first time, and fans from all over the world are here and obviously showing a lot of respect to Team Liquid, too.
Thank you very much for supporting us. Even during the games, we can very quietly hear you because their headset is blocking it, but we still hear you, and thank you very much for just enjoying the games, too. And it's amazing. I love it.
Well, it's amazing for all of us to get to watch all these teams play such amazing Dota, so thank you for that. And what are you going to do to wind down now?
We just need to, I don't know, I'll see what I'm going to do. We still have to prepare for our next opponents. I think it's EG, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so we have to play EG after the next series. It's going to be hard. We'll see what we're going to do.
Deep breaths. Great stuff. I know that was a long game. Second longest, Paul was saying, here at TI9. So congratulations. Way to go. And we will chat with you sometime soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Casey, and thanks to Mind Control as well. Get his breath back now as he takes a break, and they're going to need a break. EG next.
And they haven't got a long break.
No.
They've got, that's today.
Yeah, it's the last series of the day, so yeah, got to get that. Let's recap on RNG. Lacoste, they've done better than expected?
For sure, even though coming into this tournament, I think everyone talked about how they won every pretty much single scrim that they played, and they were a really tough opponent. I think no one expected them to go this far before the TI started.
You think they would have gone out even earlier than this? That was the
Yes.
expectation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was expecting somewhere in the middle, but they did way better than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the minors, they got last place at Star Ladder Minor and then Dota Pit in a row. Last place at a minor, and then you show up here and get top 8. It's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, fantastic players on this team, of course, and plenty, I'm sure, to hear about from the players, and that's what we're going to do right now with Shiva.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. Monet, I know you were very open in your interview with Casey about how you guys have had a tough year. And in the month before TI, I know you've also gained tremendous respect from all the teams here. They respect you guys so much for the improvements and the improvements you've had before TI and coming into this. And I want to know from you, how did you experience this international?
莫内你好，问的就是说你在当时跟 Casey 的采访当中，你也提到了说你们这一整年是非常坎坷的，然后就想问，现在你们这么努力的打到了前8，就是想问一下你们对这场比赛的感受是什么？
其实我们的预期是不是一轮游嘛，然后打到前8，虽说是预期够了，但被淘汰还是心里不好受的。
He says that our initial goal was just not to get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, and by that margin, they have achieved their goal. However, even though they reached top 8, being eliminated is still not a good feeling, and right now they are kind of a little regretful.
Regretful is never good. I feel personally that you can be proud of your achievement, but I'm sure that hopefully will come for you later on. I want to talk a little bit about 2 years ago, because 2 years ago with LFY, you made it to 3rd place at the International. And I was curious as to how that run at that TI impacted your run this time around.
后面就想问，当年就是TI 7的时候，你们在老汾阳战队里面不是打进了前3嘛？然后那时候的成绩对你们这次来到这场比赛之后有没有什么影响？
这已经过去2年了，其实队伍的人员配置以及心态都是不一样的。我们当时其实那年，算了，不说之前了，就是挺难受的吧。
He says there's not much impact involved because it's not really relevant anymore. What happened in the past is water under the bridge, and even though and he doesn't really want to talk about the past, he just says that being able to come here with this team is a totally different team with a different mentality and mindset. So everything has been different so far.
All right, I would like some final words from Monet that he can say to all the fans at home.
然后最后就是有没有一些支持给你的粉丝和朋友呢？
真的非常感谢我的朋友们和我的粉丝们，就我们这么菜还要一直支持我们，就非常感谢，非常感谢。
加油加油加油！So he says that he has heartfelt gratitude towards all his fans and friends that's come to this tournament to watch him, and he feels really thankful that they are all here to support him despite his team being this terrible, himself included.
You know, that was not a terrible performance. That was an amazing series to watch. Well played. I know we'll see you again in another TI. And we are going to go back to the panel.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Sheila. Yeah, absolutely right. We will see Monet again. He's a fantastic player. And he will be back at the International in the future, I'm sure. Guys, let's just wrap up on this series. It's been a great series, despite the fact that someone will come in and look at the score and go 2-0. Yeah, kind of expected it. It was a really good series.
Yeah, it wasn't just business as usual for Liquid. RNG put up a hell of a fight. There are a lot of young, talented players, a lot to be proud of. We'll be seeing most of these guys, if not all of them, at future TIs.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, gents. We're going to move on. And, of course, another series is almost upon us. Before we get there, though, there are two men here who you may know have the only two men that have ever played at all 9 TIs. And both of them are also champions. They're also both still in the hunt for a second Aegis. They caught up with Casey to describe what it was like being the only two players in history to play at all 9 and what their mutual respect was between the two of them.
And then there were two. They're the only two people here who have been to every single TI.
I mean, I think it's really cool that it's us two.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a big thing to us. There's no way it's not.
What do you remember about your first TI? Because both of your experiences couldn't be more different. You came in and lost all of the games.
Yeah, it was great.
You came in and won all of the games.
I just scrambled a team and Dota 2 came out and some of my teammates thought it's not a serious thing.
For us, it was just like a test. If we're actually the best team, we should be able to win this.
And when did you first meet? Do you remember?
We met first in 2008. Yeah, we played together the LAN tournament DreamHack.
And then I'm like the tallest man he's ever met or something, but he already knew that because I was in pictures.
It was like rocking like a good hairstyle.
You had long hair?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna look that up.
You were 16, I was 18.
16, yeah.
Oh my God.
Usually people with that hair say Led Zeppelin or something like that, you know? What? What's wrong with it?
No, nothing's wrong with it. I think it's
Jaw-dropping.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, look at that scarf. What a terrible decision.
But yeah, to answer your question, that's when we first met.
Kuro.
And we played, and we were like, hey, like, we like each other, the way we play, or we're smart about the game. Let's make a team together, and that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there was a mutual respect kind of right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. By TI3, you're both on Navi. What was it like to actually be there playing a TI on the same team?
I came with no expectations, personally, and we just did very well. I mean, we're so close to win.
Alliance were quite a dominant team, and their meta was like invincible during that time. There was no beating it. You would just have to copy it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They were the best. I mean, what Alliance did is, till today, it has an effect of how Dota changed. They just broke the game apart and reinvented the game in a lot of ways.
What made you decide to leave Navi together and form Secret?
You know, okay, we got like second place at TI3. We almost won it, but it wasn't a happy moment for us during the grand finals. There was a lot of conversation between players and stuff. It was not nice.
Poppy and I are just extremely ambitious, I would say. And when we feel like it's not being followed up by our teammates, we'll go forward. We're going to keep going forward in this game. And just came to that point.
So what do you think happened in TI5? You were heavily favored when you came in. I think you finished 7th. Didn't do so great. And then you decided not to play on the same team anymore.
I think there's a Dota part and the human part. I think Dota-wise, we were not prepared to win.
Team had weak chemistry, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
We were actually all the best players, I would say, individually.
Yeah. It was just a raw skill team.
Especially in that team where we all knew that we were all really good, criticizing is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You're always bottling in, kind of like, all right, I can't say that or something. You just keep bottling until it explodes, and it did. Good for us.
I mean, good experience, you know, made us stronger.
Made us stronger.
And I mean, this is the thing we're giving to our new teammates. This is why Poppy can lead like one of the best teams in the world.
Right.
Like, he's teaching them like how to deal with problems and all the things we failed in TI5, maybe even TI4 or whatever. We learned, and we're good at conveying this message.
So were you guys always friends, or did that kind of start a little bit of strife between you guys, or did you leave on good terms?
Not good terms, I would say.
No.
I'm sure that was my toughest time of all in like my career. To look back, we needed to part ways.
Yeah, I think we're both happy where we're at nowadays.
Yeah.
And we already talked a lot about our problems, whatever. It's just like, I don't know, like it's life. It's, you know, we spend so much time together in this game. This game is intense, a very intense game. Emotions go very high. It's not just friendship, it's friendship and business.
How did you become friends again?
After time.
Are we friends?
We just go to yeah. Cut the camera. Take that out.
Happy to be here.
Me too.
And it's cool that we're doing this.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Folks, we got to heard a few words just there from the mastermind, Puppy himself, but we need to look up the other faces that make up his team. Let's take a look at the entire squad that makes up Team Secret. Folks, this is an elimination series that is really going to put Secret to the test. They're going up against a squad that has been firing on all cylinders, already creating upsets. You know, when we looked at Secret in their last matchup, they didn't necessarily seem happy with the way that they were able to get the win. Yes, they've made it this far at TI, but this is a team that expects absolute dominance. Is that going to be the flavor of this series? Will they show the potential that they truly have? Or will we see Infamous able to keep impressing us up on the main stage? Let's take a look at all of the faces on that roster before they take the stage. Well, Secret may have been a favorite heading into TI, but Infamous has quickly become a crowd favorite here in Shanghai, already creating history for TI, the best placing that the entire South American region has ever gotten at this tournament. The question is, just how far will they go? Will they be able to set that bar higher and higher? Even heard Dendi on the panel saying Infamous, they might be taking the whole thing. And Nahaz, I really do want to start to think about some of the things that do embody why this team is doing so well, and I think part of it's going to be their pacing.
Absolutely. Infamous, I was so shocked by these numbers as we take a look at some of their early game stats. They have arguably the best laning phase in the tournament. When you look at their players, averages at the 12-minute mark. Whisper, 2.1 kills at 12 minutes. That's tied for third with maybe behind Thompson and Sumail. Schofield, 4.7 assists. That's number one by a mile. Second place is 3.5. And then Chris Luck is number one in CS at that mark. This team, we've talked so much about Hector and how his farming has been so good. These guys have created all that space.
Yeah, Chris Luck totally slaps. I think that's a very important thing to bring up. And Kyle, I feel like you're the exact person to really highlight just how hard he goes.
Well, Rich, yeah, I think he's playing the more difficult role. Hector is getting a lot of love, but Wraith King with free farm at times. There are some of these games where, yeah, he's got incredible stats. His patterns are excellent, but he's playing PvE, something you would know well, Rich. And Chris Luck is playing mid-Slark. He's dragging 4 heroes to enemy jungle like 9 minutes, like, while winning his lane. Like I actually can't believe that that's accurate stat. You checked that, right?
Yes.
We trust Naha's numbers. We stand Naha's numbers.
It is rare that I am literally shocked when I check the stats, but those blew me away.
And we always know, too, Nahaz, he's not going to be creating universal declaratives here on the main stage at TI. But, Neil, I also want to talk about the matchup, right? Because for anybody who's just starting to tune in now in the later stages of TI, want to see who's going to be getting the king's share of the massive prize pool, what has Infamous gone up against? What has the upsets that they've actually been able to pull off? Are they feats large enough that you go, okay, yeah, maybe they can take Team Secret?
Well, I go even further back than just this tournament. Okay. Because lest we forget, the last time a South American team did this well at a Valve event was at the Kiev Major when SG Esports beat Team Secret.
Yes.
It was a different Team Secret, but it was one that was just as bulletproof as the roster that we see here today. It's this surprise factor of South American teams that even though you know the heroes that they're going to be picking, this is one of the least versatile teams that we've seen. They're just so damn good at doing what they do.
And the juxtaposition of expectations coming into this tournament is crazy. You've got a team pretty much universally in the bottom 2 by most people's projections. And then Secret, I think, was the first or second favorite.
Yeah, and I think you can actually take that a step further, too, because a lot of the times, I know when we're on a panel together, one of the biggest things that we like to talk about is, okay, why did this series shape up the way that it did? Was it a team playing incredibly well, or is it a team that's making mistakes? And I think when we look at these two squads, you see Infamous playing completely out of their minds in most of their series and outperforming teams. And we've seen Secret not even happy with the way that they've been able to win some of their series to even get here.
I think when you talk about Secret in this tournament, the storyline has to be the weight of expectations. When you look at the numbers going back since the inception of this team, they have been the most successful LAN franchise in Pro Dota, and it's, to me, not particularly close. Over 400 LAN wins since TI4. Over 100 this year. You look at the gap between them and the next most successful team. This is one of the most dominant seasons by a squad all time. But then when you look at those TI results, first and fourth for Evil Geniuses to go. Those are switched around. Sorry about that. Evil Geniuses actually had multiple top 3s. Liquid first and then fourth last year. Secret has had 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and that's it. And this, to me, the enduring image of the series yesterday, walking off stage, they're not happy.
Exactly, Kyle. It's like one of those things where, yes, they got the victory, but they don't like the way they got it. It's almost like if you auditioned for like a play and you wanted to be Captain Hook, you got the role of Smee, then all of a sudden Captain Hook gets food poisoning and you're the understudy, so now you're Captain Hook, but you know that you really only deserve to be Smee.
Yeah, true. I mean, something like that just went down last Thursday, actually. But Secret, God, man, you threw me for a loop. I don't even know where you're going with that. I got locked into my childhood all of a sudden.
I'm like thinking about alligators and alarm
memories coming up there.
I just remember the scene where the guy gets locked in the box. They throw spiders in. I had nightmares about that for years.
Well, I think if Secret isn't able to pull this off, they will also have nightmares for years. But the question is Infamous going to be able to fly? If you're at home right now, I need you to clap if you believe.
Jesus. Look. Common
Rich Campbell.
If you talk, I've been at these Dota events for like a couple of years now, right? And there's always discussions about TI. And I remember sitting at a bar. I think it was some event in Poland. It had ended. Dendi, Vlad, Havost, Kuro, Puppy, and I was just like, you know, damn. Yeah. Someone. Is this seat taken? Like, am I supposed to be here? It's cool. And they were talking about like TI and Legacy, the greatest team of all time. It was one of those cool conversations about the past. And the comment, everyone agreed that the thing about TI that's so weird is that it's really only, no one's playing their best Dota oftentimes. That seems weird because it's the championship, but a lot of times there's 2 or 3 teams playing about how they usually do, standard, solid Dota, and everyone else is playing worse.
I think one of the cool things that we keep hearing in the interview is teams trying to have this mentality that I think OG really flaunted last year. And everybody keeps going, oh, yeah, if we lose, we lose. And, oh, yeah, it's just another game of Dota. And they're like, yeah, we know that this isn't actually how we feel about this. Like, we know that that's not the truth. We're trying to trick ourselves into basically believing it.
I mean, the winners always ultimately feel like they deserve the win. OG last year, people kept saying, oh, fluke TI kind of thing. No one beat them, and it wasn't even fair. Wings, arguably the most memorable TI winning squad, same situation like you were saying. Everyone else was kind of underperforming, and other people were just kind of playing consistent, but there was always one standout team.
Yeah, and it's something No-Tells, like that, OG lives this. They embody this concept. It's the philosophy of belief, and it's scientific fact. If you believe you're going to achieve something, it's more likely to happen.
That's
you gonna write that down?
Self-help
You
book thing.
believe.
Isn't that the secret or something? You're supposed to like
You
put it on a
will
picture board or something as you
achieve.
visualize it, and then it happens.
Kyle's self-help book is coming out this fall.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've got the title already. It's Please Take My Advice. I'm not using it.
Wow, that's actually.
I actually really like
Why'd
that.
you give that one away? What?
Wow.
Kyle, sometimes not wrong.
It has to have the underscores in between each.
Oh my
You know,
God.
you have any idea? He says
Kyle
this
underscore
Kyle.
is underscore right.
This is all I hear backstage.
Underscore
Yes, it is.
time.
Every time, Rich will just ask me a question and just wrong.
I'm so happy they let us do this panel.
Me too. Yeah, yeah, Neil, we actually talked about the idea, like, if this panel was going to happen, who the third would be, and I think all of us wanted
I'm
it
sorry,
to be
dude.
Neil.
You lost.
No.
We did all want you.
I drew the short straw. What a surprise!
Dude, Kyle, I seriously, every
It's okay.
single country that we go to together, I am always going to make the same joke. Every single time.
Glad to hear it.
Every
have it any other way.
every
You didn't really
opening
need to say that, Rich. We actually are.
Every opening panel with Kyle will be like, yeah, I'm actually learning the language here in this country. And then, Kyle, what are you going to say?
I'm not going to say anything.
And then I'm going to be like, well, Kyle, the term that I learned this time is bizoi, Kyle. And you're going to
I
say.
already used that one.
Yeah, I know, but like when we get to a different country, it'll be a different
But
one.
okay,
And then
you
what?
haven't prepared?
What?
You don't know it in any other languages?
We're in Shanghai right now. For anyone just tuning in, welcome. We are on day
4 of the main event.
Get work.
I looked for Alan. He's the stats guy. He's the numbers guy. He's the only one I trust there. But I also do want to ask you, Alan, because you're not only a mathematician and a high-powered calculator, you're also a historian in your own right. And I do want to kind of talk about what you think it takes to win TI for a team. Because do you think it is a squad that just comes out and just has a reckless abandon for what the meta is and plays their own game? Because I think when we even talk back to last year, there's this idea of a squad that they're doing something really well, and everybody keeps going, oh, in the next series, somebody's going to figure it out. Somebody's going to figure out their number, and nobody seemed to do that.
I think that answer is just, it's the best part about TI is that answer is different every year, that every team has to find their own way to cope with just the monumental pressure that they're put under. And a lot of times the answer is, look, we're going to find a way to just play Dota and not care.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm so concerned for Secret. When I saw Matt and Sunby backstage the other day after I just happened to walk upstairs right after they lost the upper bracket series. And these two guys were standing there. And there's nobody within 20 feet, and they're standing 15 feet apart from each other, and they're just silent. And I've never seen them like that all year long. They are under so much pressure this event.
And yeah, we've really talked about all of the things that we're potentially going to see, but now we actually get to jump into the draft. Let's see what the teams are going to bring and start this elimination matchup.
Infamous versus Team Secret. Game 1.
Infamous versus Team Secret, a matchup I don't think many people have expected to see in the top 8.
No, definitely not. I mean, Team Secret, we expect to see them in top 8, but in the winner's bracket, now you have Infamous, South American team don't deserve their slot coming in, and here they are in a do-or-die matchup.
Yeah. Gunnar, you know a lot about the South American Dota players and seeing you play against them all the time in pubs. What is it that's made Infamous so scary, so strong here at TI?
They trust themselves like OG did last year. They are going to give Hector his comfortable carries. They're going to give Chris Luck his comfortable mids. They're playing around each other really well. They play a similar style, I think, most of the games. They kind of play this 4 protect 1, super hyper early game with their 4 heroes while Hector hits the jungle. Eventually, Hector's going to stop TPing to his tri-camp, and then he'll show up to defense.
Yeah, it's even a little different than 4 Protect 1, right? Because Hector is usually just on the opposite side of the map. So usually you think 4 Protect 1, like they're sitting behind him, but he's just completely somewhere else on the map while Chris Luck's running around. You're like, what the hell is this dude doing? We can't kill him. And it's insane because you do know what they're going to do, and teams still haven't stopped it yet.
What would you guys say like the weakness of Infamous is, or like how should teams be trying to approach this unique style that they're bringing to the table?
I think they have some really strong picks that they're really comfortable around, and it's kind of a little night and day if they don't get their comfort heroes. Like the Enchantress and the Wraith King are the two biggest ones, I think, for their team.
Yep. I mean, Whisper, right? People can say who invented Enchantress, whatnot, but Whisper was the one, like, one of the only people playing it in the qualifiers, and then it comes here, and all of a sudden, people said it wasn't strong in the first couple days of group stage, and then just main stage, like, oh my god, she's unkillable.
I was casting CS qualifiers and would tune into NASA at the end of the day, and we're like, what are these idiots banning Enchantress for? No one's touching that hero over in Europe. These guys don't know what they're doing.
And it's crazy, right? Because it's not a BKB piercing stun, but the damage, like Enchantress destroys through the BKB because of Impetus.
Well, here we go. Early picks coming out. Infamous are going to get their hands on a first pick Magnus. Some of those key heroes you mentioned, Enchantress and Wraith King, both banned out, Gunner.
Yeah. So this Magnus is going to kind of help their 4 Protect 1. It's going to let Hector farm a lot faster. He usually likes to go really greedy builds involving like Midas and Radiance on these like Lifestealers and Wraith Kings. These are his type of heroes, but this Magnus kind of opens them more up because now he doesn't need a hero that builds Radiance. He has a built-in Empower.
And I love they pick the Void. It pretty much says you can't pick Lifestealer here to me. Like you do that, you ban out the Wraith King, and if the Lifestealer's there, I mean the Void just chronos you. Doesn't matter.
He doesn't look as good on the non-Midas Radiance characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the scary thing about Team Secret is in the last series we just saw this Tiny just completely carry the second game.
Is Tree Volley the strongest spell in Dota right now?
It's definitely top 3. I have to think of other ones, but yeah, I mean, you saw, you just get 4 crits in a row. Someone's dead.
I mean, it was also used by Secret yesterday against Mineski. It was just used in that last series. Late game, what do you do against it? It feels like on a 12-second cooldown, there's no response to Tree Volley.
The only issue with it is like the amount of trees you have around you. But in most situations late game, you win the fight with 1 or 2 Tree Volleys, and you don't care about more trees.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Shadow Shaman picked up second by Infamous. Not looking to jump into picking their carry just yet.
Do you know if Whisper plays Magnus?
Yeah, he plays a. I assume this actually is going to be the Whisper Magnus now that you have the Shadow Shaman, because I feel like that's not a hero you want to play as 5, right? So
especially it's a Tiny.
Yeah, more than likely going to be Schofield on that. And how do you feel about 3 compared to 4 Magnus? Like, say you're in a game, you're playing with your team.
It kind of depends. I think Magnus, the main issue when people would switch from Magnus to 4 was the Magnus gives the enemy carry free lane. So you're kind of trading your carry going to be farming really heavily past like 10-15 minutes for their carry farming heavily the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that's when people started to reinvent the hero, I think. They would start going boots in the early game. They would start trying to do these weird cliff skewers, you know, around the bounty runes. This Magnus would walk behind them, skewering them on the cliff, and then people started to evolve that into this more tri-laney Magnus with this dual lane pulling creeps, so.
And I like the Magnus because a lot like Tiny, right? If it is in the 4 position, you have that level 1 kill potential. Skew under tower, toss under tower is reasonably scary. And Mag, you're like, oh, he's just an Empower bot, but all it takes is 1 skewer and it's a first blood and the lane completely changes.
Even in RP mid game, late game, just like a 1 or 2 man can change the game.
As far as the Shadow Shaman, likely the 4th position, I feel like this is a kind of change in direction for Schofield. He's almost always been playing those more active 4s as far as like Tiny, Earth Spirit, Tusk. And if anything, that to me is like very signature part of Infamous's playstyle.
Yeah, I think maybe they're like Secret. They expect us to pick what we're comfortable with, and maybe they just set something up exactly for his draft. It feels like it. Like they have something ready.
Yeah, he usually plays these more melee heroes that can comfortably go into a fight, save a hero or two. The Nyx Assassin is another one of his favorites. So this is going to be a little change-up. I think it applies more tower pressure, so he's going to be able to kind of, instead of pressuring the map for kills with initiations, he's going to be able to pressure lanes with his hero. Kind of force my rotations out.
Oh, and that's a hero. I'm surprised we don't see first pick, first banned like every game. After watching, I think 2 days ago when EG picked it as well, I want to say, I think Mineski, like, what do you, this hero just in the late game, your ulti is so strong.
Yeah, having the Demonic Purge against whatever carry they're pairing with Magnus, it's also a way to purge off the Empower as well, which is really nice. So.
It takes away like the life stealers, the CKs, like they want to be mobile, and you just get purged even through BKB. You're just sitting there and like, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, there's no scenario where Infamous is not picking a melee core to go with.
There's no way. Yeah, Hector and Magnus. If they do, like, oh, carry Murano, what the hell?
They could pick something like an Ember Spirit, which doesn't get too sad about getting purged. Obviously, you get sad because you lose the Empower and you lose your Flame Guard. But it's playable in that matchup.
And you can dodge Chronos, right? You want a hero that has that chance, like Nisha jumps in, you don't just get Chronoed and die. You have that chance, you know, if you're quick fingers, you're out.
I know Chris Luck also likes it too. It fits his style of hero, I think. He likes these more melee heroes that can just go in and dive towers at 7 minutes in the game.
Okay.
And Ember's that type of hero.
Yeah, I'm looking at Silencer pick. This might be a switch up now because Whisper loves offlane Silencer. Okay. He really likes it. Do I think it's probably still the offlane Magnus? Maybe, but Whisper in the qualifiers played a ton of offlane Silencer.
Would he go like greedy items like Midas and drums and stuff?
Yeah,
like
I think
that?
he did. He went Midas, drums, and as well, right? Glaives go through BKB. You have another
With
ability
Ags.
that, with Ags, yeah, tons of damage.
The thing I like is like if you jump in and go for the kill, you take away that disruption save. Like if you jump the void, you have lockdown with Shadow Shaman with Mag RP. The issue is defensive disruption, and suddenly you can actually burst that frontline hero.
We're also going to see probably here whether this Tiny's going to be a mid or a support. I think after the last series, they might kind of want this on a mid Tiny.
Get the farm early, get that Ags, and all of a sudden, 20 minutes in, you're doing 1K crits.
And as far as Secret go, one of the players that I think has received a bit of flack is mid one. He's looked kind of rough this tournament, but Tiny was the hero in that game through Decided where he really stepped it up and played some good Dota. So
Yeah, after that game, I think their team's going to feel a little more confidence. As they said, they didn't look super happy about their wins, but I think mid one, after that game, he was kind of owning the whole game. Like he carried the first 10, 15 minutes with his rotations. So I think giving him that hero that he felt comfortable with is going to, boost up his confidence for the series.
Tiny mid doesn't have too many bad matchups either, would you say? Or what would be the bad ones?
Nothing really stands out to you. It's more like the ranged heroes that get tankier, which there aren't that many these days. The only like ranged heroes are like the Linas, and like probably the scariest is OD, I think.
Okay. Well, playing OD versus the Void wouldn't be too bad of an idea as well, I feel.
Ooh, and that's a hero I just almost forgot about because it's been first picked almost every time, and now you've got the easy setup with a Shadow Demon, and that's not fun to play against. You get disrupted, you never know where the arrow's coming from, you're just guaranteed dead almost.
Arrows into Chrono. Yapstor Mirana has been played a lot during this TI9, so I expect it to be in his hands, so we will see the Tiny core, whether it's mid or offlane. That is flexible, I would say.
It could be a core bottom as well.
That's true.
We saw EG yesterday, right? They had the Tiny that, and it was like S4 Tiny Sumail Mirana, which was odd, but I agree. I think you put this Mirana on 4.
Yeah. At the same time, though, you'd kind of want this Mirana to lane with the Shadow Demon if possible.
That's true.
Because you want to try to get these early game disruptions into arrows. They could even tri-lane it with the Void for the first level or two, and then he can rotate to the offlane to kind of protect him.
Yeah, because Void doesn't come back very easily, so I definitely think you want to bring him a good lane.
Especially since the other carries can have Empower. Yeah. So this Void who has no built-in, passive gold, way to get gold, like he doesn't have Greevil's Greed, he has no Cleave built in, Battle Fury's kind of bad on him. The best is the Maelstrom, but even then, he doesn't really farm that fast, so it's going to be a little scary if Infamous picks some, Jug or this hero that can farm really quickly.
That's got to be what they're looking for with one of these two picks.
Oh my, a PL.
So I watched Infamous play PL in the group stage. I think it was like the second PL game of the tournament. The first one, PL got completely crushed.
Yeah.
But in the Infamous PL game, Hector carried. He ended the game like 10, 2, and 7. He completely free farmed. The reason they picked it in that game was for the Mirana. They lane the PL versus the Mirana Shadow Demon, and if he gets disrupted, he's able to doppel walk out. And if his support gets disrupted, he doppel walks and puts an illusion in front of the arrow to tank the arrow for him.
And it's nice, you talked about Ember, right? PL also, if the Void goes on you, you have a way to dodge the Chrono, which is always nice, because you're just going to die if you get Chronoed.
Or they don't even know which one's the real one.
Yeah.
And playing Void without BKB versus like Diffusal Manta, you very quickly lose your entire mana pool. So that's going to be a tough situation for Secret if you get any stuns or lockdown burn through the Void's mana pool.
Yeah, and it's not even, right, you wanted a hero who's decent versus Shadow Demon, whether it's a 5, whether it's a 4, like, you don't want to be picking these Svens who just get kited the whole time, and PL does a lot better against that.
Yeah. The issue is that if he ever gets an illusion, the Shadow Demon's going to also have a
that's not fun, exactly.
Yeah. He's going to be, 10 FPS, 30 PL illusions, 15 on each side.
Help me.
I kind of want to ask, like, what are the last picks for Secret to do with PL? But they've also already got Tiny. Like, Tiny's a decent answer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The Void as well, if he gets late game, he is going to usually have a Maelstrom. If he really wants to be greedy, he can go the Battle Fury, which will help him scale a little more versus the PL. But late game, whenever he chronos the real PL, it doesn't matter about the illusions. You just kill the real PL and the fight's over. So I'm going to look for, I think still the Ember is probably one of the top picks for Infamous right now. It kind of fits your playstyle, it works really well with the Magnus. but it does set up a couple Team Secret heroes.
Yeah. The
It
last
sets up
time
the OD, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was going to say the last time Infamous had the Magnus, they actually earned a Monkey King mid as well. That's something we could see for Chris Luck.
And that gives you a little bit more team fight, right? Like right now, I look at Team Secret, you have a Tiny and a Void, like you have the team fight. On the other side, you've got a Magnus, which is great, but you don't really see these Magnuses going in. He's more of a counter initiate hero now. And I mean, this TI, it feels like you get 30+ minutes, you want the better team fight nowadays.
I'd be a little scared of Monkey because he does have some hard lane matchups in the game. So if they pick it now, Team Secret, I think, still have the ability to flex.
Yeah.
This Tiny to a 3, the Bottom to a 4, Shadow to a 5, kind of run a tri-lane, help the Tiny a little, and then, you know, they'll give mid one this favorable matchup. Yesterday, I think we talked a lot about giving mid one a favorable matchup, and they weren't really able to do it in the Mineski series. So his laning stage was, you know, it was really hard for him, I think. But in this game, if he does get it,
First Ricky of the tournament has just come out.
So back in the NA scene, before I left the TI, everyone started playing Ricky mid. Yeah. Everyone was saying it's the cool new thing. You have a lot of new HP regen.
You have 5 HP at level 1, right? Yeah.
So the hero, the backstab works on denies, so he kind of tries to get the maximum amount of CS. You know, it's like the old Kunkka, where you'd be able to get every deny and every last hit. And it kind of owns these low armor range heroes. Like, I played Invoker versus it the other day, and I got completely destroyed.
Last pick Earthshaker, but yeah, it's really okay. So Ricky mid is what you're thinking.
It will be
Chris
a Ricky
Luck,
mid. Yes.
He's a Ricky mid player.
Yes.
Oh boy.
This is going to be some
It's gonna
and the
be a
thing is,
fun game.
it could be an Earthshaker middle as well, right? I think that actually deals very well with.
Mid one did
we
play
don't
it.
know. Did he?
Mid one did play it.
Oh man.
I'm excited.
We have got a last pick Ricky into Shaker. Ricky is definitely the talk of the scene right now. But before we get our draft, I want to hear what Purge has to say about these two drafts.
It's a very cool draft from Team Secret. What they did was in their first phase of bans, they banned out all of the comfort heroes for Infamous. And that's very effective to do against a team that isn't as normalized in the pro scene. They might be going for heroes that they feel comfortable with. So when you ban those out, it's going to put them on the back foot a little bit. And on the other side, Secret also got probably the most contested heroes in the patch right now, core-wise, with Tiny, who can abuse his Aghanim Scepter, and Void, who can Chronosphere to combo that extremely well. So you can use these two teamfight heroes and gank heroes to get tons of kills in the early mid-game. But on the other side, Infamous does have the benefits of having Mag RP. They've also got the PL, which is going to be effective against Samarana, another really strong laning hero that Secret got. So from my perspective, it seems like Secret got almost all of the best heroes in the current meta, according to this tournament so far. And on the other side, Infamous is going to do some typical wacky stuff, but with new heroes. So it's going to be an amazing match. Let's toss it over to the casters.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and Secret have been wearing the crown all year long. But here at the International, they have been put to the test. And here in the lower bracket, they're going to have to match up against every young team that wants to be able to build their legacy, cement their immortality by bringing down the king. First, it was Mineski, which Secret barely managed to eke out a win against, and now it's going to be Infamous, another underdog team that has probably built up even more steam than Mineski has.
Infamous is such a surprise, just because I think any betting man would have had them in the bottom 2, and that would have been one of the more comfortable bets that you would have made at TI. That would have been not a guarantee, but very near a guarantee. And the fact that they're top 8 and they're in a position to knock out Secret is incredible. And Secret, everyone is waiting to knock them off. You just have contender after contender coming after that crown. Even though OG are the defending champions, being the top of the DPC means you have the most attention on you.
Exactly. They're the ones who are favorited to be able to win this International, no matter what the results have said so far. And Secret did exactly what a lot of us talked about when facing up against Infamous. Why are teams giving them the Wraith King? Why are teams giving them this like Schofield Tiny stuff like this? Just stop letting that happen. Ban away their favorite heroes. In Infamous, they have the opportunity to be able to show that they are not just a one-hit wonder, that they have depth to them, and they have something up their sleeve, and that's going to be the mid lane Chris Luck Riki, a hero that has not been picked or banned yet in the International until now.
And you're talking about depth. If you can win a game with Ricky on the main stage against Team Secret, we can definitely say that you've got depth to your team.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be something that Secret may not be totally familiar with.
Oh, did you see that, by the way? Schofield dropped all of his items in front of Puppey. If Puppey just levels Disruption there and he's quick enough, if he anticipated that Schofield was going to do that, Schofield would just be starting with nothing right now. He dropped his boots on the ground first in front of Puppy, trying to bait him out. And this is something that makes his team so cool and unique. How many players are willing to risk this much money, this much placement on stuff like that?
An early toss up in the top lane. Schofield heads into the range of the tower. Fortunately, Puppy with only Shadow Poison can't really stall up Schofield, so not going to have our first blood. But Secret are trying to get a certain set of lanes right now by swapping things around. Is it because they want the Mag versus Void matchup? They want that one-on-one?
I think so. It's a really good one-on-one for him. Plus, it's not easy for Mag to be in a position where you're dual laning against the Tiny plus the Shadow Demon. You're just going to get pure denied. Whereas one-on-one matchup, you're perfectly fine. Plus, top lane, I think, is going to win. I feel like they have a lot of harass potential, and they can easily secure Hector's farm in this game.
Our mid lane matchup is definitely going to be the most interesting first. Puppy, he's going to be fine.
And I've never seen
silence
in professional Dota. I don't think I've seen Earthshaker versus Ricky mid. I think this might be a first for me.
I'm pretty certain that Earthshaker is one of the few heroes that can really deal with the backstab damage. Comes to Riki, the arrow comes out, and that is going to be your first blood on Stinger. They try and turn things around by killing Puppy, but now Schofield has overextended himself trying to trade off kills, and he's going to be slowly whittled away by Yapzor. As Schofield, the Shadow Shaman, it has a bit of a slower base movement speed. So the boots versus boots right now is going to be the favor of Yapzor, but doesn't really feel like chasing that
DD
far.
Rune at top. Kursluk is going to make his lane a little bit easier here. Mid one going to pop the salve. He is taking a decent amount of harassment. He's going to take a little bit more here. Mid one probably doesn't want to trade up against this Ricky, who's going to deny so many of these creeps. This is why Ricky mid has some potential.
So one of the big benefits of Riki Core, right, is that cloak and dagger, is the fact that you have this this agility damage multiplier that allows you to be able to do a lot more damage when it comes to getting CS, both the last hits as well as the denies. Opening that a lot of CS open to you that normally wouldn't be. But in this situation, it's matched up against an Earthshaker who also has the same kind of ability.
Top lane, Hector getting low.
He's going to be chased down in the trees. The arrow lands from Yapzor. That's going to be a second kill for Secret, make it a third now, as they're going to be able to disrupt Stinger perhaps and bring him down. But Zai is actually a little bit too low, no mana. If anything, Puppy has to be careful. Schofield's really gunning for him right now. Ether Shock needed another swing or two to be able to finish him off, but they do at least bring down the carry of Infamous.
2-0 early kill lead. Right now, no team too far ahead, as Infamous and Secret are nearly identical when it comes to the net worth, despite that.
Oh, he tossed, but it was an illusion that he actually got, and as a result, he's going to be shackled up and finished off by Hector.
And that's -2.
Permanent loss. Try not to think about it too much, but it's always there.
And especially on a hero like Tiny, who already has a slow and small base in pool. Plus, you're not going to go for treads that much anymore. A lot of people have been opting for the phase boots on pretty much every strength core, which means you don't have that option of strength in switching on your treads. Regen rune picked up by the Magnus, still doing okay against the Void.
Whisper actually ran down to the bottom rune, and he was rewarded. He actually got a regen, so he refilled his bottle and had some regeneration. Some time lost in lane sucks, but it was honestly probably the best rune that he could get in that situation.
I think he may have made a miscalculation by going for the 2 levels of the Shockwave, just because Void top.
Oh, they're going to be able to bring down Schofield. Now Stinger's in trouble. Yapzor leaping forward. And with the poison, Fairy Fire going off, but Stinger can't get to the trees fast enough. Yapzor gets the double kill.
And Yapzor is making this lane hell right now for Infamous. A lot of arrows, good movement overall. Mid lane, Kursluk getting quite low, but
you could see it in the CS. This is not a 1v1 matchup. This Riki is really dumpstering, which I think they were hoping for. They're going to land another arrow. This time, Schofield is going to be the one to fall as Secret invade, going for those bounty runes. Now, Zai's going to be a bit low, but Hector running out of mana, now going to be disrupted as well. They just do not seem to be able to contest this tri-lane. And the other 2 solo lanes are going perfectly fine for Secret.
On top of that, Stinger was forced to pick up 2 of the sentry wards to try to help his Riki mid, but mid one's not buying any. He doesn't really care about this Invis Riki in his lane.
Every single time Chris Luck shows up, mid one just fights him because Earthshaker has those kind of good base stats. He's able to hit him every once in a while with the Aftershock. The Enchant Totem allows him to be able to contest for like range creeps that Chris Luck would usually be able to get the deny on against other 1v1 matchups.
And Schofield's made his way mid, but he's got to be careful too. Mid one is level 6. Gonna fight over this rune.
Try and jump a mid one. He does have his level 6. It's gonna be a little precarious for Infamous and the arrow as well. Oh, they do have the smoke screen, but that's enough to stop Schofield from falling. Not sure what Infamous really was planning out there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the end goal of that play is. Considering it's an Earthshaker, he's just stronger than you right now. Your Riki's not level 6.
And maybe the cracks are beginning to show. Infamous drafting some heroes that they haven't played as much in the group stage and even the playoffs. And as a result, just look a little unpracticed with what to do.
Give them a little bit of leeway because this team catches up through farm real quick, Cap. Really, really quick. Plus they have a Magnus, one of the heroes that they're better with. Whisper's got a one-on-one solo lane, so he's gonna pick up levels pretty easily.
That is true. Like we've got 2 different agility cores that have pretty good agility stats, especially the Phantom Lancer, right? His agility gain is off the charts. That Empower is really going to start kicking in the mid game.
Yeah. And Earthshaker's good against you until a point. Then there are ways to work around it. It's really hard for him to know which the real PL is.
Toss up, Hector. Does have the Doppelganger.
Stunned
but
by
the
Zai.
Avalanche is going to be able to hit all of them. Which one is the real one? They've sniffed it out, but they won't be able to get the kill. Bottom lane, Skewer in, RP being used, and they will be able to get the kill on Nisha. A sneaky rotation from Schofield. And finally, Infamous, they get an opening. They get a kill. That is not a trade.
And it's a kill on a core that's had solo XP, so this is going to boost up everybody that was a part of that. Nisha on his way to the Midas. Anytime you die, getting that close to Midas, it feels so bad, Cap.
Yeah.
It slows down your timing, your rhythm. It feels like you're being punished for your greed. I think he decided to go for it because most Voids do, but also it didn't feel like anybody was going to try to go for the gank on such a high-level Void. And he's got 2 levels of Time Walk. But with the Arcane Rune, he was willing to pop the RP there. Mid one's going to grab the Invis Rune. Might opt to start making some rotations around the map, as mid lane has been so free for him.
Hector, one of the biggest things that everybody's been praising him for, especially pro players, is his proficiency at farming. And most of the time it's been on that Wraith King or Lifestealer, but here it's on a Phantom Lancer, which could be the hardest carry of the 3. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Phantom Lancer. Why is that, Blitz? What caused this hero to fall from the meta?
I feel like he's just too slow. His teamfight potential really requires him to hit so many different item timings. There aren't a lot of carries nowadays where I feel like you have to wait for 3 different items before they feel viable at fighting.
Yeah.
And Phantom Lancer, part of the problem is you have carries like Tiny that just get 1 item. You get an Echo Saber, you feel pretty good about fighting. Then his next item leads into the Aghanim Scepter, and you're even better. Whereas Phantom Lancer, you get a Diffusal, still not good at fighting. You need 1 more item, you get Manta, you're still squishy. You have to keep building upon your farm. And in this meta, it feels like everybody is so fast.
Yeah.
Even Faceless Void is considered a slower hero, but the one thing is you come with the best teamfight in the game in Chronosphere. It can always save your ass, regardless of what position you are. And I feel like heroes like Void, heroes like Wraith King are just good because it's easy for your team to play around. Everyone knows the kind of playstyle that you want to exhibit.
Whereas Phantom Lancer, his timings and how
it's so
he's
weird
able to be in a team fight, it's a little different. There isn't those obvious team fight wins. There isn't those obvious timings. It's more about the other 4 of Infamous being able to basically win fights and provide openings for Hector to then clean up with his Diffuse of Light, with all the chase down that Phantom Rush gives you. We're going to see a heavy rotation coming out from Secret for the 10-minute bounty runes. Infamous do the same on the other side of the map, but
By the way,
Nisha does grab one of them. So.
quick thing to notice is that one of the best ways to deal with Riki, of course, is going to be the Force Staff. And as a core player, you don't love building it as one of your first items, but if you just take a look at Yapsor, because of the sheer amount of kills he's gotten, and he's got pretty good farm to go along with it. He almost has it in its entirety.
That's pretty crazy, especially since mid one is going straight for the Aghanim Scepter. You would think that the smoke screen is going to be a good counter to him, but he can rely on YapzOr to get him out of that silence. This will be a very effective core pickup. Whisper is going to make a rotation over here. He's empowering up Hector, but what else are we doing here? Trying to make a play to defend top. There's that Siege Wagon already dealing so much damage. Mid lane, they're going to go for it. Mid one, he's definitely in trouble here with the combo of the shackles, wards, and the ult coming out from Chris Luck.
He time walked into the smoke cloud, so wasn't able to instantly pop the chrono, which allows Chris Luck to reset. Get back into the fight. Puppey getting chased right now. You should know about this. What I really like about Secret is they place a sentry to go along with every one of their wards.
Yeah.
You saw that at the bottom lane. That's how Nisha knew that Chris Luck was coming. The downside of this, though, Cap, is it's going to really slow down everyone's farm. Puppey is used to being a slightly greedier 5. You're not going to get away with it in this game where you're buying so many different sentries.
Chris Luck is just trying to find openings anywhere he can. The power, and he's going to try and go for YapzOr here, but double leaps gets in the way.
And they're smoked up right now on the side of Infamous. They want to make the rotation up the top lane, but the tower's already dead. If they could kill mid one, that'd probably be the biggest kill that they could go for, but he does have a haste rune, so they'd have to lock him down nearly perfectly. They're hoping he walks onto the high ground here. Maybe if he gets onto the low ground, Schofield's waiting. Whisper has the RP.
Gonna be able to open with the Hex. They have the follow-up shackles. No need for RP here. They can hold that ultimate for Whisper. A big kill on mid one. As he just gets a bit sloppy. I was really concerned for Infamous there. It just seemed like they didn't know what they were doing around the map. 3-man smoke up where Chris Luck goes bottom. They lose the tower top, but being rewarded with a core kill makes this a little bit better for them.
Walking up hills with no vision is the easiest way to die. That is 10 times out of 10, you will get punished for that at this level. Infamous is definitely good enough to take advantage of that fact. Mid one just a little bit too cocky. But I'd like to see some sort of tower pressure right now from Secret, aside from that top lane.
Yeah.
Take this bottom one, rotate around to your Chronosphere. The downside of making that move, though, is that Nisha doesn't really have any items that can really fight yet. He has no damage dealing, so somebody else has to come, which is exactly why Zai's down here.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. They don't really have a clear tower pusher, right? It's like maybe Zai can throw some damage into the tower, and yet Secret has still managed to take one tier 1, and they've done a fair amount of chip damage in that mid lane as well. Nisha was really trying to push that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tiny's pretty good, but I feel like Secret's philosophy throughout the year is you don't have to have these tower pushers. As long as you can just kill them enough and get map control, it's okay.
Yeah.
Towers will naturally fall because the best way and the easiest way to clear towers is if you can skip the wave and put all the creeps onto it. Puppey top.
Does manage to get off the disruption. That should be enough for Puppey to get away. Chris Luck, it just really shows. When Ariki is trying to move around the map, trying to get these kills without his diffusal blade, without any sort of slow, the smoke screen just isn't good enough. Stinger is going to be caught here as he tried to just collect a little bit of the golden experience flowing in on the tower push.
Yeah, we talked about this bottom tower push. This is exactly what they needed to do. Even if you don't have the easiest ways to set that up. Whisper mid lane, gonna go on to mid one. The wards have been dropped too. Shackles to follow up. Chris Luck with the blink strike. And that'll nab a kill for them. Unfortunately, without the wards, won't be able to put any pressure. And Whisper is in fact stuck and has no way to get out. He doesn't have a TP, no phase boots, and he's just gonna have to hold this position. They should TP and kill him here, Cap.
Yeah, 25 seconds. A skewer's up in 2. The arrow's gonna nail him. He does have the skewer up. Asai's gonna go for the back line, tossing him into the Serpent Ward trap. He's gonna be shackled up though, and the Global Silence will actually protect Infamous very nicely. Zai, though, is still gonna die from the tricks of the trade.
How did that go well for Infamous?
I think Secret just got a little bit greedy about it, but the Global Silence was honestly just perfect.
It was, and Whisper, I mean, he wasn't meaning to bait there, but it works out for them in their favor.
Yeah.
6 to 7, most of the gold lead coming from the towers that they were able to grab early on. And Chris Luck during this entire time. One thing about Infamous that really stands out is one of their 2 cores is always farming.
Yes. And this game, it's going to be Hector, while Chris Luck is the one trying to move around the map, make plays, but he's going to get chains done here. Shouldn't be able to get off the smoke screen or the tricks of the trade. They're going to use the Echo Slam to make sure he has no chance of living.
And they know that Stinger's in this area because of the ward. Mid one gonna run into him. This should be an easy kill. Stinger doesn't even have
Oh,
boots
and the
right now.
Chronosphere at the bottom lane as well, leading into the arrow, but Hector shows his face. They're not going to be able to get that kill. Back over the top lane where Stinger, I honestly just don't think there's a way for him to survive. No matter how much he jukes this, a Fissure and some Shadow Poisons is going to be enough. 6-9, Team Secret, up by just a K.
Chronosphere, just, it's strong, of course, but without any damage items, when you go for this Midas build, you'll have levels. So you'll have level 2 Chrono, but you literally don't have any attack speed.
Yeah.
You need Maelstrom, you need Mjolnir.
That is something that did kind of strike me about Secret's lineup. They don't have the obvious big nukes to throw into the Chronosphere early. Later on, you know, if they start getting double Starstorm, they get the tree volley, then it's insane. But early on, you don't have the absolute greatest. Most of the time, it's just going to be set up for an arrow, maybe some Shadow Poisons.
Oftentimes that'll be enough, and Infamous don't have that easy save. What this game, I think, will come down to is not really even the farm, but it's the initiation. If Secret take a good fight, they're the ones that started, they can just snap 1 or 2 heroes to begin with. I think that Infamous...
Oh, the long-range Hex managed to catch him. Another Serpent Wards. The Shackle's going out, the tricks of the trade, but it's just not going to last long enough unless... No, Nisha does manage to get the time walk away. They're going to still try and chase him down. Chris Luck thinking about it, but that time dilation slowing him down.
And that's 3 times that they've gone for it. Zai looking around the area, he does have a Blink Dagger. I do like how Schofield's using his wards just aggressively to grab kills. Doesn't really care about the cooldown very much. It doesn't even feel like they care about towers all that much. This top pressure is the first time we've really seen them try to do something about it.
Yeah, Hector's like, I guess with Manta, I'm finally strong enough that I'm not scared of any sort of solo kill. But even then, he's really not trying to push it too much. He could be there swinging at the tower. Instead, he's trying to hit neutrals, while most of Secret showing mid.
I think Secret have realized, as bad as we are at potentially taking fights or taking towers, Infamous is even worse right now.
Yes. That's why they're just been aggressively hunting for a lot of the game, a lot of four-manning. The Moonlight Shadow is there going to try and get into the high ground. Puppey drops Sentry, but they've already jumped on Anisha. This is a fantastic kill. If they can get it with the Global Silence, it's going to be good enough. The Force-Staff save is not there. Midwa jumping forward with that Aghanim Scepter is going to be able to hit Schofield to finish him off with the Enchant Totem swing. Chris Luck looking for his opening, but Hector's in trouble. They need to be able to bail him out, but he does manage to get the Doppelganger into the low ground. Zai wasn't able to catch him. A buyback from Schofield. They're going to try and chase down some of these heroes, and the buyback does result in at least one kill. Here's Puppey. His TP is going to get canceled. Whisper's going to use the RP to be able to grab Zai. He skewers him back into Stinger. They just want to make sure they have the damage, that Zai's not going to be able to get away to Blink Dagger, and they can give this kill to Hector as well. They gave it to Puppey. Oh, Stinger takes that last hit instead, but still, Infamous between taking away intelligence, between getting Hector these kills. He's now top net worth by a large lead, 10K.
Ooh, he's already hit that 10K mark in 18 minutes. And this is the dangerous part is, Hector will get his. Regardless of what the situation is, dying at top lane, Hector will get his. And maybe we finally see some sort of tower pressure. They do have the wards. And for a brief second, we saw Infamous finally take a gold lead. These guys, they came to play today.
And the first Serpent Wards for a tower as well. It's always been used to try and get a kill, but mid-tower being all important here.
Schofield gets the last hit, and finally, I'm okay with Stinger getting the kill because he needed boots. My man, 18 minutes in, just picked up a pair.
No.
If you conversely look at Puppey, I mean, he's a literal prince compared to Stinger. He's got 2 bracers and a magic wand.
Yeah, you said Puppey was going to be the poor one because he has to buy so many sentries, but somehow Stinger ends up even poorer.
Yeah, Stinger, his luxury item right now is that Wind Lace. Wow. But he's had to buy just as many sentries to combat the fact that Puppey's pot.
Die. Oh, he's going to find him. Schofield fast enough. He's going to be able to get the Hex before the blink. What a massive kill, and that's all thanks to that Observer Ward in lane. They saw Zai run through the lane, go into the trees, and they hunted him down as a result. So we're going to go back and take a look at that team fight. Schofield with the buyback here. Because of that, Disable is able to stop Puppey from TPing out.
Bottom lane.
Oh, we go back into it. Is now with the Global Silence. Yapzor, he's done. They're going to look at Puppey as well. Tricks of the trade being used right as Nisha was hoping for the Chronosphere. Puppey, he's almost dead here, but they Enchant Totem jump in for mid one. Looking to be able to finish up Chris Luck, but he healed. He got the magic stick. Is that going to be enough? The smoke screen, he gets the swing. He gets
the Chronosphere.
Chronosphere going out to finish off Schofield as well. Doesn't want to deal with those disables.
During that time, look at Hector
from Infamous is actually coming over here because Hector, he's trying to hit a tier 3 right now. Stinger's just buying him time. Go, Hector, go. I've got this.
2K gold lead still for Infamous because they took the tower. Secret, they've got to put pressure on this tower, but they feel a little bit worried because they don't have Chronosphere. They're just going to back up completely, let things go. They do get 3 kills, but it does cost them a tier 2 tower. They don't get a tower trade in return, but I think for Secret, they're happy about things.
Yeah.
Being even in a game like this against a team that wants to farm, you still have the better team fight, I feel like.
Yeah.
With Earthshaker, with Chronosphere, I think your ways of setting up team fight are easier anyways.
I'll agree with that if Infamous don't make a good fight happen in the next minute and a half.
Okay.
They did use Chronosphere, they did use Echo Slam. We still have RP up for
This would be a really
Magnus.
good time to smoke.
If anything, Infamous should go fight right now.
What Chris Luck did know is he was actually outside of the sentry range, and then he walked back into it. He was confused.
Yeah. You just never know what
Oh, they did go for the smoke. All right, so this is what we wanted out of them because the timing of it works out so nicely. If you can get this kill, you will get a free Roche.
They know
you
they
can get
have
a core kill.
a solid 45 seconds until Echo and Chronosphere. They don't have Global Silence, but they have confidence.
Oh, they're...
Oh, okay. Maybe this is a cooler play. Instead of trying to force the fight with just off of an RP, trying to go for Roshan
this is not going to
instead.
work. Secret is a wily team. Yapsor already fired the arrow into here. They've committed, though. And they saw the Serpent Wards pop Zai. Gonna blink in any second.
He's gonna throw in. What about the smoke screen though? They need that out in place to make sure. Oh, Chris Luck is actually gonna jump forward to make sure they can't actually get inside the pit. But Min1 and Isha, they're gonna come through the right direction. Schofield doesn't actually die. Yep, the dragon for the Whisper. He gets tossed up in the air straight on the Secret, but Nectar, he's finished off Roshan now with the Aegis. He's gonna try and finish off this fight. Min1, he does have the Echo Slam. They have to be careful of it. He does manage to get that off and jumps away just in time before he's burned out of mana. Nisha now goes for the Chronosphere. He sees that Chris Luck is inside the pit, and he should be able to swing him down. Hector, though, the Global Silence going off, surrounding Zai, who's burned out of mana, has no hope to be able to survive through this. Min1 lays out the Fissure for him, but Infamous feeling the fight. They got the Roshan. It worked for them.
A 3-for-2 trade and the buyback from Puppey. They did lose their mid Ricky, but they get the bigger objective, Hector, who grabs that Aegis, and he is so incredibly farmed. He has almost a heart. He's got a fully completed Manta and a Diffusal. We talked about how this hero could be a little bit slower in its build-up timing, because you're not looking for the 1 item timing, not even the 2, but you need 3 items on this hero to feel comfortable, and he's almost got it at the 23-minute mark.
Yeah, we're almost there, and that's where maybe some of the damage problems are going to come up. Chronosphere may not be enough to finish off Hector anymore. Blitz, you said something I think that was really smart this morning. You were talking about the synergy between cores. You said you named a lot of teams that just had it. Mineski had it. You say Infamous has it between Chris Luck and Hector. What is that synergy?
I feel like they know where the other person wants to be. Part of being a good 1 and 2 combo, and I feel like that's what makes OG so potent. You saw it in the interview yesterday where Casey said, how do you feel about Ana coming back? He said, I love Ana. He's my favorite player ever. Is top. This is going to be a free kill for them. Nisha, a pretty big one.
This is massive. They need another smoke screen with a level 15 talent. He's got it.
And it feels like they know how to create space for each other. They always play on opposite ends of the map.
Yep.
It feels like Infamous, their 1 and 2 positions have an understanding of how they want to work.
Absolutely. You can see, oh, Hector, stop it. The captain of Team Secret giving Doe behind his tier 3, but Zai does manage to make an entrance through the back. But he's just been skewered into Hector. He's going to get burned out of his mana so quickly, but Min1, what an entrance from him with that enchant totem. Arrow stealing out the Magnus as well. He's finished off by a toss that comes out from Zai on the right-hand side. He's now been burned out of mana entirely, though. The Moonlight Shadow protecting him. The smoke screen, though, is enough to be able to finish off Yapsor, Zai, and Min1 will back away, giving up this tier 2 tower.
They did get some out of that as they forced 2 buybacks. 2 heroes dead, so this is going to be a 2-for-3, but they might just go and push this. Top lane is pushing at the same time. You see that Schofield's going for the play. He's hoping that nobody comes in, drops the wards. Tier 3 being assaulted on both sides of the map. Secret have to decide. They decide to go for Schofield, but this also means the bottom lane likely to lose its tier 3. Secret, they're in shambles right now. They're not quite sure where to go.
Nisha has the Chronosphere. He's going to need a beauty here to be able to help stop this push. Hector's actually going to jump forward, trying to get Puppey here with the avalanche. Surrounding him, he does have the extra life, though, and maybe that's why he's just so fearless right now. They do manage to get a smoke screen onto Nisha, but Hector looking to be able to finish off Puppey. The Global Silence going down right as the enchant totem swing. But mid one, not able to finish off that Phantom Lancer. Hector's giving it away, but now the Chronosphere goes out. They're looking to be able to bring down this Phantom Lancer. He does have the Aegis though. Stinger's gonna die inside the Chrono as well. They use the arrow though. Do they have the chain stun? He's gonna be able to jump away instantly with the doppelganger. The RP inside of the tricks of the train. Mid one trying to bail him out with the Echo Slam. He does it. He managed to finish off one. Chris Luck almost dead with the BKB. He can't get out. He's dead as well. Infamous drop 3. And Secret, they will manage to hold on to their melee barracks.
Took heavy damage at that top lane, but a great fight for them overall. They only lose the range racks. Secret, it feels like, comes online when they lose racks.
Yes.
Feels like they're okay with that idea as long as they're winning team fights. Nowadays, it does feel like if you're getting wiped repeatedly trying to take megas, it doesn't necessarily feel worth it. That's not a game-ending situation anymore.
Infamous just as easily in that situation could have taken the tier 3 and backed up and gone dropped.
Yes, but instead they decided to stick around. They felt their strength. It was just such an awkward fight because they don't have the vision advantage going up into that. And Secret, they're a veteran team. They understood that was a great fight for them to take.
You saw that fast blink from Schofield, dodging the Fisher at mid one. Here you can see how just far Hector dove in so deep, all the way into the tier 4s to try and finish off that Shatter
Look
Demon.
at this top move right now. Schofield's got Blink and Aether Lens. He's going to see Raptor. This should be a free kill for him. Hector's going to come in now. Ward's even dropped for this.
Despite the 4-staff and trying to contend with the Riki core, it's really the Shadow Shaman that has been Yapzor's worst enemy. Now look at that 82% win probability. Blitz, if you told me there was an 82% chance that Infamous would be bringing down Team Secret for a top 6 position before this international, I would have said that's absolutely crazy. But going into this series, it felt like a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, I think this is a straight coin flip, especially with how mortal Secret has looked in their last few series. This is not the dominant team that we saw. You can see the cracks. You can see they're not playing with that same bravado and confidence that we saw all throughout the year where they said, we're the best team in the world, come at us. But keep in mind, gold leads mean nothing to this team.
Yeah.
Counting them out or waxing poetic about how good Infamous is doing doesn't matter. We can talk about how good Mineski did. Maybe you'll say they outplayed Secret for 85% of the game, but when it mattered, Secret moved on. 2-1, that's the only result anyone will care about. It doesn't matter that Infamous had a 3-4K gold lead with an Aegis. Secret can just bust out a win.
Yeah, believe me, you tell those Mineski players right now, hey, you guys did a great job. You outplayed Secret a lot of the game. It's not going to make them feel any better about the fact that in the end, they were out of the international. 19-20, 28 minutes in. Infamous only holding a 1,000 gold lead, but specifically Hector holds a 5,000 net worth lead over the second carry in the game. That's Nisha's Faceless Void.
I will say, though, having net worth on this Earthshaker is so important because Riki is, I think, the type of core that needs to continue to scale quite high. Whereas Earthshaker's damage as a core is really nice. It's really easy to get off because of the Acceptor. And even more so now that he's got this BKB, there's only one real way to control him up. That's the RP.
Fortunately, this Empower does allow the Riki. Most of the time he has issues where he's not running around getting kills. He's a little slow at farming. The Empower actually helps him out quite a lot. He now gets his level 18 as a result.
And his biggest problem
is a massive level as well.
Is that you have to melee jump in and you don't have a disable as a core.
Yeah.
And you're really squishy. You will die really quickly as this Riki. He's got good armor, but I mean, take a look. He's got a BKB, a lot of stat items, and only rocks 1,500 health.
Yeah, just one Echo Slam, one Toss Avalanche.
Hey, we saw him pop the BKB, and they just killed him.
Yep.
A 1,500 HP BKB does not feel good.
He's trying to get the Basher right now. I wonder if an Aghanim Scepter is in good consideration for him as well to be able to solve some of those issues. Just jump inside, whispers Magnus.
Yeah, and look at this aggressive pickup from Team Secret. They grab the gem on the Earthshaker. Big fan of that. Feels like they're playing to win.
Yeah. Like, not just against the Riki, right? But when you're trapped inside your base, you know they're going to have aggressive vision. You need to take that vision away from them so you can reclaim your farming spots.
And 2K gold lead dips down to 1, hovering around that area. Relatively even game between both squads. If anything, I'd actually give Secret a little bit of an edge because of the amount of teamfight they can put out and how easy it is.
Yeah.
I actually feel like this Riki, every time I have seen seen him as a core, it feels a little bit underwhelming because of the way you have to fight.
Yeah.
And Schofield, you will die for daring to go for that arcane rune. That was a terrible idea.
Yeah. Mid-1 collects it for his bottle, and the Shadow Shaman has been a really big part of Infamous teamfight. Secret, they see that opportunity, a 4 position going down. That's an opportunity for them to take an objective.
And look at this, they instantly know about the ward drop by Stinger.
Yeah.
They're gonna deward that. That'll alert both teams that they know about each other's presence. Hector, gonna come back. And Secret, after they grab this tower, they have to deal with that top lane, and that'll make it so that Schofield isn't pressured. Doesn't have the buyback anyways, but even if he did, because of this top push, it sort of just makes things even.
I really like this speed to travel for mid-1 as well, just allowing him to be able to deal with pushes like this, but still be able to join his team. I mean, he's like a great combination, right, of catch against this Phantom Lancer and the side lane pushes, but also he represents so much team fight. He can't be absent from his team. Hard up next, win for the echo damage against an illusion hero. And it's gonna feel pretty value. Magnus looking for the RP immediately onto him. The smoke screen going out, but he still have the damage. As a toss tree as well as, man, Nisha's just not really getting the bashes whatsoever.
They're just trying to kill Stinger
out. There is going to be Stinger who goes down, but inside they have mid-1 trapped, and that's the jab, the tricks of the trade. Now Chris Luck looks to be able to get out there, going to be able to chase down Puppy. Who else from Secret is going to get caught? Schofield, he's trying for it. He's got the Blink Dagger, he's got the Shackles. He's going to dodge the arrow, try and get the Hex off, even with the Lotus Orb. It doesn't matter, just stop Zai from being able to blink away, and he does it. Hector gets on top of him, and Nisha, look at him, he's just sitting on the high ground. He's going to try and go for Schofield right now. He does manage to get the arrow onto him, but immediately a smoke screen. Now a skewer back. No, Whisper gets stunned up by Mid-1. He's not able to get that. The Echo Slam and the volley as well. They rain damage from above to be able to finish off most of Infamous. Mass buybacks coming out. They're trying to save Hector. Half health, Doppelganger away. Mid-1 jumps into him now. The RP. It doesn't hit Mid-1, and that's so bad. He managed to get off the Fissure, and that's done onto Hector. The arrow is out as well. He nails the volley. Zai with another fresh volley. Finishes off the supports of Infamous and Team Secret. A long, drawn-out fight.
And Roshan is up. That looks so good for them to start. They got the kill on the Earthshaker. They recovered the gem, but they just went for a little bit too much. And that's that discipline that this team, it lacks at times. And Secret, I mean, they have that experience. They know how that fight's gonna look if it goes on for long enough.
I mean, I just can't believe they didn't just leave Zai behind. Nisha opting to go back in with Mid-1 buying back at the same time and TPing in. It turns the fight around humongously. Look at him, he jumps onto Whisper right as he was about to get the skewer into the smoke screen. And
that
then
was such a sick echo right there. If they get RP'd in that situation, Secret have just bought back and lost the game.
And this one too, the RP not, the skewer and the RP not catching Mid-1. He gets a Fissure out, so there's no damage onto the two that get controlled.
And now they're going for the high ground, and this is why, in Secret, they don't care about the gold leads. All it takes them is one fight.
Yep.
In these positions, Mineski learned that the hard way. This team is scary because they will find a way to win. It won't always look the prettiest,
but they always have. It's like the old EG where you always have the team fight, you always have the ability to win the late game.
Yeah, it just makes your early game look so weird, which is something I've been thinking about Secret for a while. It feels like they can't really play that mid-game tempo like they like to, but they'll hold the high ground great, and there will come a time where you will make a mistake against them, and you will falter.
Yeah, because it's so easy to misstep. It's so easy to get a little bit too aggressive and get countered by buybacks. Because no matter how strong you are, if it ends up being a 5 versus 10, you're just not going to win that. You're going to run out of damage. You're going to run out of cooldowns.
Yeah, that's why after we saw the win percentage, I thought it was actually in Secret's favor.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought it was like 70-30 them. I think that's what I said. And they're going to grab another kill here. Nisha, he has more than enough damage to kill Chris Luck. And this team, they're starting to fall apart a little bit.
I mean, at this point, Chris Luck just can't show himself anywhere around the map.
1,800 health with the BKB. That does not protect him.
And the 25% backtrack again for the Faceless Void. Nisha continues to run this. I think we saw him do it in the group stages.
It's pretty value against illusion-based heroes.
Yeah, for sure. slowing down the damage.
It's even better than Butterfly because there's no way that you can deal with it. It's not evasion in that sense.
Yep. Zai.
Top lane,
He's looking
Schofield.
for an opening. His smoke is going to break, so he should know, or unless he thinks it's the tower. He thinks it's the tower.
Looked like he was walking in that area for a second, but does know Hector, for as farmed as he is, he needs a pretty big RP to set fights up for him. They just need their disables to be able to live. Schofield's ping for him right now. He wants his team to come in. Both teams actually know about this.
Yeah, but it's so hard. Oh, he managed to get the shackle on his eye. Here comes the arrow, the Fisher out as well, but he didn't blink anywhere. He does manage to get comboed off Whisper with the skewer backwards. Both BKBs going down. There's where the RP is with Global Silence on Anisha right now. Manta's up. He's going to jump for Schofield, and he does have that cheese, so he's going to be in fighting shape. But Hector, he's trying to finish off the eye, and he does manage to get one, but mid one stuns him up. No, the BKB at Hector, he is able to doppelganger away. Chris Luck with his own BKB, who's trying to go for the back line. Does manage to get a bit of bash on mid one, low on mana. Does have enough just to be able to make one jump away. Chris Luck really wants to hunt him down. He's got the blink cast range too. If he can actually just get the vision, that's going to be opted by Schofield. First to Hex, now the follow-up. Chris Luck with the smoke screen slowing him down. Nisha coming back in here to time dilation. Does have the Manta. Hector though wants to be able to burn him out of his mana as fast as possible. And Nisha has just enough to be able to time walk away, but Chris Luck's not going to let him get out. He managed to get the bash there, controlling him up, and it drinks the trade. The carry of Team Secret falls, and now maybe even a little bit more. Earthshaker still has that Aegis. What
They're
if
looking
they
for him,
caught
but he's far.
He is so far away. And Whisper, he would have to make a blind guess for the skewer, which he does just 2 seconds too late.
And that fight, it looked like it was going to be so good, but for once, Hector led the charge. He tanked up so much of that damage, and the ward placement by the Shaman, by Schofield, was sick there.
Yeah.
He made it so that both melee cores on the side of Secret were stuck. They were huddled up together, lined it up real nice and easy for the rest of his team to come in. And now it's Infamous that are playing aggressively. Maybe they want to force the buyback out of Nisha, but he'll have Chronosphere on that respawn, and they have Echo. It's not like they blew a lot of spells. Infamous, they've got to be careful.
Fisher first, no arrow. Hector has himself protected by illusions, and again, Hector's gonna go for it. He got punished last time, but he doesn't seem to care. Chris Luck, he gets hit by the enchant totem, avalanche out, but the BKB goes off first. He's gonna be able to get the bash on mid one, but he knows it's not worth committing for that hero. Mid one jumping in, immediately hexed up. Trying to get the silence as well. Hector wants to stay away from this guy as much as possible. Hector pops the BKB now. Mid one holds the Echo Slam. Now gonna try and finish off Puppy. Puppy is gonna be falling, but Schofield as well as Stinger both die inside the combo from Zai.
And mid one looks like he wants to chase, but not going to be able to do so. Completely burned out of mana. Zai clearing out some of these illusions, and that's the second range racks taken, but...
And you have to wonder, did Infamous, did they just push their luck a little bit too much again, because they don't have buyback on the Shadow Shaman?
And they know about that on the side of Secret. They weren't able to burn out the Aegis. Mid one was never really able to get isolated out. He's way too tanky with the BKB and the Reaver. They'd have to get into a position where they're 1v5ing, just beating on him.
It's crazy how Hector keeps on just running past mid one and going for these heroes in the back line. And mid one is trying to chase him down, but
Hector, if he stays for that one creep camp, he will die. They've got vision on him too. Whisper on this high ground, gonna blink out.
He's got a force up as well, but he's not gonna use it fast enough. The Chronosphere does manage to catch him. They get the control onto the Phantom Lancer. They're gonna be able to get these silence, but if the BKB in the follow-up, the Echo Slam, it locks down the carry of Infamous, and it'll catch Whisper as well. They have a buyback.
He doesn't have buyback for 110.
They have a buyback on Hector, but it's only gonna be the three of them defending against Secret. Once again, Secret's buyback, Secret holding the high ground. It's going to turn into an offensive position.
I'm starting to think that Secret is actually maybe the most exciting team in Dota right now. Because of their playstyle and the way that they force teams to fight around them, everyone just obliges, and you get into these weird situations where you just non-stop run at each other.
Chris Luck is going to try and get a fast kill onto this Tiny. Not so fast, though. Look how tanky Zai is. Tricks the trade, trying to burn him out. Doesn't manage to get a bash, though. Stays inside. He's down to half health. Zai trying to run away, but they're chasing him so deep for this one. The BKB goes off for Chris Luck, but a Force Staff, and Zai, blink up, he's away.
That was the buyback from Hector. This is going to push the gold lead to 12K. Secret in a very strong position now.
That's what they wanted out of that. They can have their buyback on Nisha. He just needs some more gold. Same goes with Puppy and mid one.
Yeah, And the scary, weird part about Secret is when you're ahead of them, it never really feels like you're ahead of them.
Yeah.
And when you're behind them, it feels like you're going to lose the game.
And let's say this about Infamous, right? We know they don't have buyback. We know that Secret has buyback. Everybody knows that. But I still feel like Infamous is not going to slow down. They're not going to sit inside their base.
I mean, they went into a position at top lane, which was so ballsy, where they decided to go for a push.
I mean, look at Chris Lux. Just...
Yeah, Chris Lux actually just went for that. If he has Chrono up, he pops BKB, you just die.
Yeah, you
Then
don't
the
have
game's
BKB
over.
on Chris Lux, so if there's any sort of avalanche or fissure immediately...
Yeah, the fact that they went top against an Aegis, and there was a buyback on Nisha just to get that one Rax.
Yeah.
That really felt like they were playing the wire there.
And that's the thing, is like, this is why we talk about Infamous and their playstyle being so cocky. It just seems like they don't really care who their opponent is. They think they're gonna outplay them. They're playing in a position of inferiority. They're playing in a position where they don't have the buybacks. They're playing in a position where they could lose the game if they force a fight right now, but they're gonna do it anyway.
And that's what you have to love about this team, is their commitment to just running at you and trying to win Dota.
They just hit the level 25 on Hector with the Doppelganger cooldown. It is so hard to lock this hero down, but Secret has so much control. It's going to be a battle of reflexes between the BKB, the Doppelgangers, Chris Lux, Tricks and Trade. They're trying to find the angle, get into the high ground. Schofield managed to find his opening on a Puppy. The Global Silence immediately popped out. Benicia pops BKB, goes straight for the Shadow Shaman, does manage to get him as well as Hector. That's massive. They're going to be able to get the Enchant Totem follow up, changes on him out, but the BKB goes out, the RB and locks them all down. Everyone, look at that hit! Whisper, can they finish him off? The echo save goes down, and Hector says, no! That's not my fight. I'm out of here. Stinger's dead. They're just going to try and chase down the rest. It's going to be Chris Lux who falls as well. Stinger and Chris Lux, they do have buyback, but Hector, he was the one who could not die there. He was the one without buyback, and he does manage to get out safely.
Oh, that fight, it looked like it was going to be okay for Infamous, but Secret, just too tanky. Mid one, 3,500 HP and a BKB. You're not taking down this hero easily.
I mean, is Hector, are they getting the Empower onto Hector? It just feels like when this RP comes down, he just doesn't do any damage to them.
No, I don't think he had. He definitely did.
He Doppelgangers away. That's going to tear a lot, but...
They just don't have the damage right now. Even with the awards with Ags. Secret, resilient again.
And this is what we talked about multiple times, and how to be able to play up against Infamous is to let them and all their aggression challenge you and put yourself into positions where you can counterplay. So whether that's being tanky enough to be able to take the fights, having early BKBs, playing on the high grounds. Because, you know, Infamous, once they get their heads into smoking and making a fight work, they're going to go for it anyway. That means Secret, after winning that fight, are going to be able to get the Roshan. That's Aegis, Cheese, and a Refresher Shard for Nisha. Do we have any other big level 25s that just got picked up? We have the Avalanche cooldown from Zai's Tiny, who has the Crystallis, soon to be Daedalus. So watch out for that tree volley, especially on top of the Chronosphere.
And there's a Hex on the App Store who has been an absolute fiend in this game. Another item, more Satanics coming out for Secret. Mid one's gonna grab one too.
Dude, there's so many instant disables. You're like, the disables that can come from outside of vision as well with like Fissure and Avalanche. Infamous have to be like super trigger happy with the BKBs.
I love, by the way, how aggressive mid one's been in this game.
Yeah.
We said he needed these kind of games. He had one yesterday. This sort of just builds on it. These are the kind of games that build your confidence. Rework yourself. Because I think even he would admit he feels like his performances are probably a little bit underwhelming. But the last two, I mean, he's coming in clutch. His team fight in these games have been insane. That one fight that probably determined a lot of how this game looks, where he bought back, hits the 3-man Echo.
Yep. Hit the Echo, doesn't get hit by the RP. Like so many little things he did right in that.
Yes. He should be absolutely commended for that.
The smoke up from Team Secret. They're going to sweep through into the triangle here. They can catch anybody from Infamous. It would be massive. It's right as
Infamous probably have one more good fight in them left.
Stinger. He does have buyback, so he's going to be the one comping the smoke rotation.
Gonna walk up this area, the rest of them. He could buy back, but he doesn't have a shrine to connect to the rest of the team, so it looks like the smoke just not gonna, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, Infamous are very likely just to pick up this bounty rune. pick up this bounty rune. Okay, they're baiting the bounty rune.
Yeah, they're trying to bait the bounty rune, hoping that one hero comes in. The idea behind it is that everybody goes, Secret feels like they have control of this area, they grab the bounty rune.
Yeah.
And they just send one hero to do so. But I think Secret, they're smart. Don't walk up into that area where you don't have vision. Just go into the high ground right now, and Secret will know that this was a trap.
What's a bounty rune really going to mean if you can go high ground and force a buyback out of Stinger right now? That just means the next fight, you just easily retreat. Try, oh, look at this fast play coming out from Schofield, trying to make a sneaky little Serpent Ward trap, but gets caught by mid-one. And add another, oh, now the Chronosphere coming out. Nisha's gonna be left alone, but he's one-on-one against Chris Luck, who, at a loss for words, he was so far forward.
Yeah, the rest of his team got the message. They're like, let's hang back, and Chris Luck just decided, I'm gonna step out, dies almost instantly.
Okay, well, now there's another hero without buyback. Schofield and Chris Luck just dying back-to-back like that means Infamous left in a precarious position now. They do not have buyback due to gold on the Shadow Shaman. And same actually goes for the Riki. So if anything, Secret are probably just gonna be a little bit timid, thinking maybe there's gonna be some buybacks coming in, but very rapidly they realize that this will be 2 lanes of barracks. They can't go for the Megas because of the tier 2 bottom. Has to be careful of Hector though. He can certainly still do a lot. Nisha trying to heal up off the Satanic. Thankfully, you can heal off those illusions as well as the creeps that spawn. And he also still has an Aegis, Team Secret.
So many different arrows being launched by YapzOr. He decided to go for the -5 second Sacred Arrow cooldown. He's just chucking those out, hoping that one lands.
Boots of Travel now for Zai. They've got another hero that can deal with these side lane pushes. They do have buyback on Hector, so well, we'll see whether or not Hector wants to finish off his Scotty that he's trying to build right now. Is this game going to change anymore as we continue to go late? Because it seems like watching these fights and such, Team Secret, the ease of execution, the opportunities that they have with so many heroes having an impact in team fights, it seems like they're just going to hold an advantage for the rest of the game.
It's really hard to fight into them just because of the sheer amount of disabled that they come with. And this SD5, he continues to grow on my list.
Yeah.
Such an effective hero with the disruption. It feels like one of those heroes, if you don't immediately kill him, he has so much impact in team fights. But he's not easy to immediately kill because he comes in with his own self-save mechanism.
Yeah.
And now that he's got the Ghost Scepter, they've got no real way to pop him. They don't have this magic damage burst. You don't want to have to all-in so hard for that 5 position. We saw that in the game where Vici played, if you recall.
Oh, they know. They know where Chris Luck is headed. They're going to drop sentries, thinking he's going to run blindly into the high ground. But Chris Luck has other ideas. He's going to push behind this tier 2 mid. Seeing if anybody's going to get caught while Hector pushes in that tower. And this is crazy because Secret, they're not actually just going to go for the Megas here. They're actually going to try and catch him from behind. That's going to start with Schofield falling. Now they're going to go into the trees. They're going to catch Stinger, who still holds his global silence. He does have a buyback if he can get the gold from him. The Enchant Totem after Enchant Totem, just scouring the area, finally does manage to find him. A jump forward, a tree volley out, but Chris
YapzOr's on the hunt right now. He's got the right idea.
He does
He's
have
going to run into him.
He just runs a little bit further up. He would have gotten the sight disable.
A quarter of an inch up, and he has him there, but throws out the arrow instead. Had the right idea, though, YapzOr.
I just can't believe the number of times that Infamous, when they're down on buybacks, they're willing to push out like this.
It's hilarious to me. It's like they always go for it.
Yeah.
And I think Secret is reading that. They're starting to. It's almost like, you know, prize fighter. He understands the movement. He's starting to time things a little bit better, figure out the reach. They're getting used to the fact that Infamous is going to be in those positions.
Just like that bounty room read. That tree volley doing so much damage. What a terrifying ability this late into the game at 50 minutes. Hector trying to hold by himself right now while his 2 supports just need a little bit more time. 33,000 net worth lead for Team Secret right now. Over 20K experience as well as they're all hitting their level 25s. Even Puppy is closing in on his. Meanwhile, Chris Luck, I mean, that's one of those 25 talents you really need, especially since he already has the Aghanim Scepter. If he could get the 300 tricks of trade AoE, it would add a lot to these fights.
Oh, Stinger, one more tree, but doesn't manage to nab him.
Hector. Having the balls to just push outside the base and farm.
But Secret is so good about disengaging. They're not giving them any sort of easy fights anymore.
No, they're not. Very small but passionate number of fans for Infamous. I'm sure back at home,
Dude, this
South
guy's
America,
so
there is a lot of fans screaming just like him. Cheering on Infamous. Them to be able to bring down the big dogs of Team Secret. But it just seems near impossible in this game with Secret holding such a large lead. That win probability that was once 82% in the favor of Infamous is now up to 94% for Team Secret.
Secret, Infamous just did something that gave them an additional 2%. I'm not really sure what Dota Plus thinks that is.
Uh-huh. Maybe it's just Boots of Travel. I can see Boots of Travel being it, right? Because that's the way you're able to like win a defensive fight and then go high, like TP in and go high ground real fast. Blitz just shrugs. Oh.
I don't know. It's just, I can tell you how players think. I don't know what AI is gonna do.
Geez, Secret. They just are not going for the high ground push like I expected them to.
No,
but
they're gonna wait for this next
Roshan
rush.
is up, so
If you have this much map
surely
control,
with this.
why not?
Yeah.
You win this game, you're one away from being top 6.
And this is an Aghanim Scepter as well, so somebody can grab that. Probably the Void, I'm guessing, since he doesn't have any extra slots.
SD's pretty great too.
Yeah.
And Mirana's not bad either. They've got a lot of options here.
There's the Fisher, out onto Schofield. Schofield again, does manage to get the Hex out. Mid one, Serpent Wards are down the tree volley though, covering that area. Mid one fights underneath it. Hector still trying to chase down mid one with a BKB. He should be able to get away with the Chronosphere out. That tricks of the trade allows the Riki to be able to live through it all and manage to get the bash on Anisha as well. They need to finish off Anisha as best as they can underneath the Serpent Wards as well, but they just don't really seem to have the damage. Anisha, he's willing to fight both him and Whisper at the same time. Does manage to get the bash onto Whisper.
Hector's
The
just in
RP
there.
trying to go for it, but Chris Luck almost getting bashed to death. Does manage to jump away. Mid one, he tries to hunt him down with the enchant totem, instead turns back with an easier target of Stinger, who will fall and does not have buyback. Hector, he tried to go for the back line. He doesn't kill them, but he does manage to live. He does manage to make his way out of there. But
And Hector is 1v3, but Secret looking like Achilles out there. No one going down. Very easy fights for them. I mean, if your one position gets into a position where he's 1v3 and the rest of your team can't fight, it probably means that you're not winning that fight.
Yeah, I mean, because Nisha was also 1v3, except for he was almost getting kills. Nisha dropping off a ton of mangoes for himself. But he
It's so annoying
realizes,
playing against Mana Burn.
yeah. Time to, it's gonna need a few seconds to consume all these. But if you just look at that chart, right, look at the blocks of red at the bottom of that network chart and just the solitary greens. Destroyed a tower, got a kill on Puppy. For the last 20 minutes of the game, Infamous had not been able to hold on to a single real victory in this game. Secret have just been dominating the map and dominating every fight.
And they still continue to hold the lead. It looks like they're just going to slow down the pace of the game. They're going for the absolute 100%.
Dude, at this point, like, are they just trying to test how much damage Tree Volley can do? He's trying to get a Battle Fury now. He's got Daedalus and Crystallis, and he's looking at a Battle Fury.
42K, the largest lead that we've personally seen in our casts at this TI.
Yeah, that might actually just be the biggest lead of the tournament as well. Nisha, he's going to pick up the Refresher Shard in his backpack. It is still on cooldown for 80 seconds, though. He also has not consumed the Moon Shard yet, so there's still a little room for growth for him. They're just going to keep throwing illusion after illusion of the Phantom Lancer to finish off this tier 3, while they also chuck out a bunch of arrows from the Yapsor, just hoping that they get that one hit that they need to provide an opening in the team fight.
Feels like some sort of mini game where there's so much that they have to evade. The tree volley, the Marana arrow.
Chronospheres, the enchant totem jumps in. They're going to lead with the Chronosphere onto the mid lane. Chris Luck's in trouble, and they don't actually have a way to be able to save him, so he just dies like that.
And
Nisha.
not having a way to save against the Chronosphere feels so rough.
They're going to buy back almost immediately, and there's no need, because they have the Aghanim Scepter, Secret can chill out for 40 seconds here. They're going to have Chronosphere up. That'll also be about the time the Refresher Shard starts coming off cooldown as well.
It's scary when every single chrono means somebody dies, and they have no way to do anything about it.
Just no saves, because they opted for this Silencer as their fight position. Secret being so confident, they can keep on picking up all the bounty runes, grabbing power runes as well. You just never know where double damage is going to change the fate of this game. Look at this. I mean, they finished off the tier 3. These illusions have been chipping away at the range barracks as well. It'll get the Observer Ward that was laid out as well.
Yeah, Secret not taking any.
Oh, Jesus, Hector! You got to be careful at tree volley now. The arrow hits. This opportunity to be able to jump in with arrow. Nailing down to Chris Luck. They have to blow the goal of silence here, especially for Schofield stuck inside the trees right now. Nisha beats him to a pulp. Inside the jungle, now drops the Chronosphere. Is going to go for the Riki, who does not have the buyback. Look at the tree volley, raining death from above, and now that's going to be Megas coming in for Team Secret. They still have a buyback on a Schofield. If Hector can actually finish up this kill on the mid one with Soul Catcher, it makes him a little skittish. He jumps away. This is going to be Infamous battling against Megas. They seem kind of okay with this idea. They're not trying to just throw their lives away to beat back Secret.
And they're just hoping for that one fight right now. Whisper still has the RP.
Oh, the RP does manage to get up with the force staff, gets him away. He was looking to be able to get the skewer into the fountain, but instead he dies. He's immediately going to buy back because Hector needs his help. He's going to be chain stunned down, though. Hector, can he jump away? A force staff, a doppelganger. He's a little bit farther, but the volley comes in once again. And Whisper, who just bought back, skewers back to the safety of the fountain.
GG.
But no buyback from Hector means there's no more damage left, even as Whisper finally gets that RP skewer. Look how tanky Secret is, and Infamous. They put up the good fight. They almost had a solid lead. They took 2 ranged barracks. They had an 82% win probability at one point, but Secret just continued to be that ultimate wall, that ultimate high ground defense. You think there's cracks, you think there's little openings, but there's always a trap. There's always the buybacks to turn things around.
Yeah, that one buyback play at bottom river, that was so sick by Team Secret.
Yep.
The way that they baited, Puppey buys back first, puts them in a position they can't really recover, and that's going to be Infamous going down a game early. Looks like Nisha learned not smiling. She's going to walk back.
Trying to keep his calm, trying to keep his nerves.
It's only one game.
This series is not over again. Who knows what's going to happen in game 2? For that, we're going to turn to our panel.
Don't smile. That appears to be the secret. Nahaz, really quick, kind of what is your take of that first game now that we've seen these two teams go head-to-head?
Absolutely amazing. I think you saw everything that we talked about, from the strength of Infamous's early game to the ridiculous Dota that Secret played yesterday against Mineski. Mid-1 coming up huge now in 2 straight games for that team.
Neil, how do you feel about these two squads? What do you think Infamous's best hope is in this series?
I had originally criticized Infamous for being one of the least versatile teams in this tournament. Then they go out and pick a Riki, who has not been selected at all in this entire tournament, and a Phantom Lancer. And I get it. We did see him, though, and he lost. And we also saw Phantom Lancer, a hero that's not particularly popular at this tournament, maybe rightfully so.
I mean, it does fit, though. If you think about it, it's weird, but if you were going to replace a Slark mid, Riki kind of fills that same role. You know, mobile, low HP core, but good laner, and then all of a sudden you're active on the map, and that's how Chris Luck likes to play. He wants to make things happen so that Hector has some time to get into the game.
Deny mechanic. We talked so much about the refraction and tidebringer changes, where these two big mids no longer get their free denies. Backstep still works.
I also want to ask, why is this hero suddenly popping up more and more in the meta? Well, not so much yet, but we heard, not at this tournament, but we kind of heard from Gunnar. It's something that he was starting to see more leading up to the tournament. What is it that allows that to happen?
It's hard to say. I think it's just maybe the area control that Ariki provides. You've got the ability to just kind of dominate a certain area of the map while you can just kind of make plays with these very cheap items. You saw the double Wraith Band into upgraded boots, natural like drums and diffusal buyer. Like you can get 6-slotted really quickly, whereas other heroes take a lot more time, especially with a slower meta like Midas Radius and so.
Now, I know the other thing that you wanted to talk about, Kyle, was actually an engagement that went down in the Roche pit.
Yeah, of course. We wanted to educate some of our newer viewers here at TI and just go break down how a fight around Roche is theorized. The idea, you want to guard the pit, and you can see Infamous, they place their 3 sentries, the mag, sentries of course not being the ward, but the heroes, boom. Arrow, Secret's completely aware this is happening now, they pop invis, they try and immediately engage towards the pit. Infamous, they've got all their damage inside, they're trying to rush it, and if you watch just about here, they do what you want to do to defend the pit. You keep your core in the crease, killing the Aegis, and immediately collapse. You want to take out this choke point, and you're going to see why in a second. The Secret heroes, they have terrain walking. The 2 cores, Void and Mag, they can come over the side. But unfortunately, the rest of the draft is stuck here. All their damage is happening in the river. PL's just cleared the Roshan, and now we can leap forward into the engagement. You can see the Echo is about to be forced by mid one. This is useless. This is a PL with Aegis. We don't care anymore about damage taken by this hero. Worst case, you respawn. Now the Chrono comes in. There's still 2 heroes here outside of the pit, nowhere close enough to help provide damage. The silence, not even necessary. But they clean up the Tiny, they secure the Aegis. Just a very well thought out fight from Infamous. And unfortunately, they weren't able to close it out, of course. But they do certainly understand the mechanics of defending this objective and denying choke points.
That was awesome. I just said that was actually awesome. We haven't gotten to do too many of those segments. You draw really fast. That was actually just really impressive. Thank you very much for that, Kyle. We have plenty of more stuff that's going to be coming up, though, right now. We actually want to throw it down to Casey. This one's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited about this one, too. So as you've seen from some of our interviews already, we always do a Media Days interview. We spend a lot of time with as many different members of as many different teams as we can, sitting down, getting serious, getting to the heart of what the last year has been like. But at the end, we like to lighten it up a little bit. So we ended this year of media interviews with what I like to call rapid fire. Show me what's on your phone. All right, rapid fire questions. What is the last text message you sent?
This is very personal. Why do you ask?
I feel violated here.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Well, yeah, I lost my shoes in Philippines. That was my last message. My Skechers. Fuck my life.
April 8th.
What? What's the last text message you sent?
Like heart smileys to my parents.
Good night, my love. A couple, kissing hearts.
Was that to Misery?
Last text message. Probably not for a camera.
Can you paraphrase?
I texted my mom. I said, I love you. Today is the last day for my dog's medication. Cute little puppy.
Who is the last person you texted?
I texted a female.
A female?
Yeah.
Who was the last person you said I love you to?
Probably Zai.
Aww.
You know, mine's Yazid, actually.
My girlfriend.
My mom.
What are your most used emojis?
Oh, pigeon one, easily.
You in slacks.
Are you also pigeon?
Yes!
He's a smart guy, what can I say? Like, look at the WhatsApp pigeon, it looks so good.
That is terrifying. What about the heart emoji for your beautiful wife?
Just heart is not enough.
You're both romantics.
Thank you.
Poop emoji.
The smirky face.
The whimper emoji. Emojis have names? I don't use emojis.
I'm sorry, what?
It's only for your eyes.
Kissy face, leg, poo emoji, eggplant.
Yeah, a raccoon is there too.
Pizza, pirate flag, pig, sheep, burger. Got it. Thanks for getting serious.
Thanks for asking such great questions. All right.
All right, so I kind of figured we would just be having fun with it, but I think we all learned a lot about these guys just from the emoji question, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that the emojis are really telling, and also who your last message is from. Like sometimes even when I'm on the panel, my mom will call me. I actually have my last message is from my dad actually right now. So thinking about giving him a quick call. Let me see. Yeah. Hey, Dad.
Hello, son?
Yeah. I'm at TI right now. I just wanted to give you a quick call.
Are we live on stream?
Yeah. You're live on stream right now.
I just wanted to say two things to all the fans. First off, thanks for welcoming my son into our community. And of course, second, shut up, Kyle.
What? We did not rehearse that part.
If mom gets to do it.
I did not approve that. It's once a tournament.
It took me like 5 minutes to get your attention earlier to help break me, to help me like cue into this segment, and you're just furiously scribbling on. That's what you were doing?
Yeah, that's what I was planning. But we were gonna gas you up. I actually wanted you to like jump in the call and be like, hey, like.
He's totally lying right now.
No, I did not tell you to say that. I did not tell you.
You told me to leave my phone in the green room.
Oh man, that's not true. That's not true. You know what is true?
What's true?
We're starting to see Secret fire on all cylinders potentially. If they're able to take down the series, how does the whole tournament look for them?
It's certainly a confidence booster, but this is a series they're supposed to win, right? I feel like most people have already counted Infamous out, and it's just that first game. I loved what I saw from their draft. We all thought from the first 4 picks, Secret was way ahead, and then they have this really cool concept, the Riki and the PL. If they had been able to do a bit better in the mid-game, I think they perhaps close it out. They were inside the Secret base for a while, but just didn't go their way.
I kind of want to bounce off something that we actually heard Blitz say during his last cast. He kind of brought up the idea that he thinks that Secret is the most exciting team to watch right now because of their play style. Neil, do you think that that is something that we are seeing? Do you think that the way that they are actually going about their drafts, the way that they are enacting those drafts as well, do you think it's making for these really exciting games?
You tell me any other coach who's going to come out of that booth, get interviewed by KC, and say that his team's angry? No one else has been doing that, but Secret's doing it because they are angry. This is a series that they definitely think they should have had. They thought they should have had the last series, all the group stage series. Everything short of that is something that they are not satisfied with, and that's something that makes their draft so exciting because they need to keep throwing people off balance.
I want to comment. There was one other thing that Blitz said in that cast that I thought was really important. You asked me in our open, what do you think it takes to win TI? What are the characteristics of champions? Blitz said something during that cast. He said, you know, with Secret right now when they're playing this way, when you're ahead, you don't feel like you're really ahead. And when you're behind, you feel like they just win the game. That, to me, you look back at Wings, you look back at Liquid, you look back at OG last year. The great teams at this tournament, it feels like they have extra lives. It feels like no matter how the game goes, they're going to give themselves that chance to win. And I know everybody's down on Secret, choking at TI, whatever. They continue to play this way. They still got a shot.
Yeah.
And Kyle, I think that you're a person that can really talk about this as well. You know, this is obviously a play style where you start thinking of the word momentum. I think you know more so than a lot of people like how big momentum can actually be up there on the main stage.
Oh, for sure. Well, unfortunately, I only know how it functions in the reverse, because usually if you start losing, it continues. But looking at the way that last game was played, I can't talk about PhD Dota like Alan can, but I think Infamous needs to go back to what they were playing earlier in the series. Kindergarten style, all right? I want Slarks. I want Wraith Kings. It's so difficult to execute at a high level. Yeah. Heroes like Silencer and Magnus and Riki and PL, it's like you don't really have a sense of the flow of the fight as you would with just, you know, stun them again.
So when you say kindergarten style, you're kind of going back to an idea that I think all of us have said on the panel before, which is just ease of execution. You're looking for something that they can put together and have that ease of execution. I also want to really quickly, before the teams do come out, I know that they are going to be getting ready right now. You know what? We all need to talk about it because the teams are already making their way to the stage. We're going to take a look. Let's see if this is going to be a 2-0 or if we'll make it all the way to Game 3. And now the team's taking the stage. We already know that Secret's been able to pick up that early momentum. But the question is, Are they going to be able to do it again? One of the ideas that I do want to talk about is stuff that's happening inside of their laning phase as well. I also do want to say, if you look at overall tournament momentum, yes, they're at the same spot, but I think if you are Infamous, you're definitely going to be feeling a little bit of extra wind in your sails.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's still Infamous with momentum.
True.
Secret, like, they won't be satisfied with anything but a win. Like, they're still trying to play catch-up after losing to EG in the upper bracket.
And Infamous has already set a record for their region. This is the best placement that the region has actually had at TI. But to get a little bit more insight as to what their goals are for this tournament, let's see what they had to say to Casey before TI even got started.
Schofield and Stinger of Infamous. Welcome.
Hola, gracias.
Hola, ¿cómo están ustedes?
Buenos.
You noticed the ages.
Ya, sí, estamos ansiando tenerlo así para el equipo, ¿no?
I want to start by asking you about Dota in South America, because it is very popular, and I know that people watching TI9 are going to be very proud to see you play, and I'm wondering how you feel about that.
Pues la gente en Sudamérica es como que bien apasionada por el juego, al menos en nuestro país, en Perú, hay bastantes cabinas y toda esa gente es que pues les gusta el juego al igual que nosotros y pues nos sentimos bien, ¿no? De representarlos y nos están apoyando mucho.
Ya, a ver, uno por otras cosas también que juego Dota es porque, ¿sabes? Por la gente, por los fans, o sea, me gusta representarlos.
How long have the two of you played together?
3 meses.
¿Solamente 3 meses?
2 meses, pero nos conocemos también antes. Estuvimos en el Infamous, que estuvo en el DPC del 2017 al 2018. Y ahí jugamos también como que unos 5 meses, más o menos.
No one on your team has experienced TI before. So what do you expect?
Pues esperamos encontrar desafíos, un montón de emociones que nos vamos a encontrar aquí, estamos seguros. Y pues lo principal creo que es hemos venido a divertirnos.
There is some positives to coming into TI with no prior experience in a way. Do you feel like that enables you to just kind of play Dota and focus on your Dota and not worry so much about TI being this enormous thing?
Pues sí, ajá, lo vemos como que de esa manera, como que más divertirnos, ¿no? Jugando Dota, porque es lo que venimos haciendo y claro, una meta no es así clasificar al TI, lo conseguimos, estamos muy felices, pero sí, al final del día sigue siendo solo jugar Dota, ¿no? Entonces sí sentimos eso, ¿no? Creo que sí otros equipos tal vez tienen un prestigio que cuidar, ¿no? Tal vez un top al que llegar, pero nosotros nos sentimos más libres.
How do you think that the South American Dota 2 scene can grow?
Para que crezca la escena pro, yo creo que sería aumentar, no sé, los torneos para equipos tier 2, ¿no? De allá, para que los equipos se esfuercen más, para que haya más equipos.
But you can still win. Anything can happen at TI. You've earned your spot here before we start group stage as one of the top 18 teams. Are there any other players here that you're really excited to meet that you've maybe watched in previous TIs?
En personal, como que ya los he visto, ¿no? Antes, entonces sí es bueno verlos de nuevo, ver alguna especie de química que tienen otros equipos interesantes, como por ejemplo, no sé, a mí me gusta la vibra que tiene Liquid, por ejemplo.
O sea, yo cuando jugué Dota no conocía que había buenos jugadores, o sea, jugaba Dota y simplemente porque era un juego nada más y crecí jugando Dota sin saber, sin admirar a nadie, o sea, simplemente jugaba y ya, se puede decir. O sea, no es que desprecio, no son buenos, ¿no? Pero igual no lo veo eso, simplemente juego.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Buenas tardes.
Gracias. No hay más preguntas.
Quiero más preguntas.
Now, we keep talking about the achievements that these guys already have at TI and what they've done for their region, but I think one of the other things we do need to look at is this is just flat out the youngest team we have in this tournament. You hear a little bit in the interview that they're saying, hey, look, like we didn't necessarily grow up idolizing certain players.
Yeah.
But I do want to, and Kyle, you're the one who can answer this the best because you've beaten some Alien Lane before.
That's true.
Now,
he admitted it on the bus. Is that why?
It was like if you're in a moment like that, and you're playing against a player who has like all of these big moments. Is that something that's going through your head? That's something that we do need to be thinking about as we start looking at these teams right now in the next game.
Infamous versus Team Secret. Game 2.
Team Secret have continued their lower bracket run, up 1-0 against Infamous, the South American hope. What are we expecting to see Infamous change up now that they're down a game?
I was listening to what Kyle said, and I mean, Wraith King.
Just go with the opposite,
first
right?
ban. Yeah, kind of. I mean, Wraith King was first ban, so you can't really go back to that. And that Slark, I don't think you can 9th pick a Slark into like having a 10th open pick, right? So it's
that
a little
happened.
bit
They did that
there.
once in the group stage. I think against RNG, they got 10th pick Shadow Fiended.
Yeah.
He got solo killed mid, and they lost in 14 minutes.
Exactly, and that's why I think a hero like Ricky, right? There's not. People just don't know how to counter it yet. I mean, they tried the Earthshaker, and actually Chris Luck, he had a pretty good lane versus it. They went back and forth, so I like their draft. I think a few execution errors lost in that game.
So this is cool. They didn't ban the Ench, but they do a first pick on Secret.
The expectation's very much that they would not give it to him.
Yeah, there it is.
So Infamous is going to ban their own Ench to defend against the Team Secret Ench.
Yeah.
But all the other bans are the same. They're still trying to keep Infamous away from their core playstyle, this kind of core protect one.
Well, Secret basically get an extra ban since they have first pick, so they get to take out the Magnus. So now Infamous are going to have to dig one deeper since not just their 3 best heroes, but now their 4 best opening heroes have been taken away.
Yep. I almost feel like Infamous might be looking at something like a Shadow Demon because that denies a ton of Hector's heroes, I feel like. And if they have it themselves, obviously, then they can pick up this Lifestealer, this Sven kind of heroes he likes playing.
That hero just denies a lot of heroes right
really
now.
does. All the carry melee. It feels like it really does.
Even like every strength hero, all these like Timbersaw, Bristlebacks, even Tiny, they lose 40% of their health no matter what.
Yeah.
And Gods, you were on timeout. This hero like should be getting banned,
I think
but like where do you put it in? Like obviously they think, I mean maybe instead of the Omni or something, but obviously you're scared.
I think Tiny, you don't know where it's going to go. The flexibility that they can run at mid, off lane, or even 4 position, it's just so hard to play against. And when he gets that Axe timing, Tree Volley is just an insane spell right now.
Yeah, even as a 4, we've seen how much we can do this tournament.
Yeah, you can still farm an Ag Scepter as a 4. These games are dragging. You're going to get your Blink into... You can just go Blink into Ags and then get the Echo Saber afterwards. There's so much room for this hero to get farmed.
And there it is. I like it.
Another save, if he can get it during the toss combo. In the early game, it'll save a core.
Yeah.
A lot of damage for this Tiny. This Tiny's going to have like 3k HP at 20-30 minutes in the game, and 40% of that's just gone at the start of a fight.
Do you want them to pick a core here? Do you think they will? Do you think possibly you go with your Hector hero paired up with that?
Yeah, usually they've been picking their Hector here pretty early because his lane doesn't matter as much because he's just going to jungle anyway, like level 4. So give him a bad lane and make space for him.
That's where they play. Like Chris Luck, he'll usually have a good lane, right? He had I think, most CS by 10 minutes in, and then after that, he doesn't even care. They'll just go over, and then Hector, that's when he starts farming. So I think we'll probably see that, unless there's like a Whisper hero they really like.
Is it really just like the Lifestealer that stands out as far as these heroes go? Oh, Whisper hero is going to be picked up.
Yeah, I think Lifestealer as well as Sven, we're both looking good here. I think they're both okay to pick up early, but they do go with the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, just some team fight, a good laner. I know we talked about this hero quite a bit recently about how some people don't really like it that much. Yeah. It gets picked a lot, and in some of the game it looks a little underwhelming. You have this like 25 talent that makes you really strong with 250 damage, so you can kind of scale into the late game, but it's kind of worrisome when you pick these 2 heroes that don't really have stuns.
Yeah.
Right, like Disruption's a soft stun, it's kind of a banish, and the Ravage is an ultimate, and you can't ultimate for every single solo pick off a game, right? So it's I think they're 5. If it's Shadow Demon, they need like a 4 or a mid that kind of has stuns so that they can continuously fight, because if they will only Ravage and fight around their Ravage, they're going to have Chrono every fight, and I think Chrono is a probably stronger skill than Ravage.
And I like this, the Void. I mean, they've been first phasing it a ton here, and honestly, a lot of people would be like, well, Tide versus Void, it's going to be really bad. It's not that bad for Void. Like, he'll get harassed a little bit, but once you get like level 5, you start taking that off, you're just going to start like either creep skipping, whatever. It's not that bad. And now you have the team fight. And that's how Secret won last game, right? They had the overall better team fight.
Also, the Void can go into Silver Edge if he really feels the need for it. He's a natural Shadow Blade buyer.
Team Secret just understand these are maybe 2 of the best cores right now in the game, because you go back, even the start of the group stage, you go back a few months, you'd almost very rarely see cores being picked up, multiple of them in that first stage. But that's what Secret are willing to do.
I know a lot more players are comfortable picking their heroes earlier in the game. It used to be, at least like for me and like I think a lot of other players, is they'd be really scared of getting countered. So it's like when I'd be picking my like an Ember Spear, I'd be like, oh, I don't want the other team to pick like a Nyx to counter me, right? And someone told me, I think it was March, he basically said like, you're a core player. Why should we be really scared of these supports? You know, it's like they're just a support. You're a core. You're the bigger hero of the game. You have to overcome these, you know, like walls, these obstacles in your way to like win a Dota game. And sometimes your game's gonna be hard. There's gonna be counters, you know, hero counters, lane counters, you know.
There's always gonna be.
Yeah, it's no game's gonna be like perfect, right?
Yeah, and that's where, like, you know, playing all these pub games, which is what most of these pros do, can really help for mids, because, you know, you pick your hero up, you're often playing into those 10-pick counters.
That's why a lot of times even some mids, when they want to practice a hero, they'll just first pick it like 20 pubs in a row. I know like Arteezy does it, CCNC will do it, at least from like, I know the NA region more, but they will like just take a hero, you know, like Arteezy did with Arc Warden, for example. He just spammed that hero, and he learned all the matchups. He learned what people would want to pick against it, all the you know, what people wouldn't really pick against it, what it would be really good against, good with, and you got to learn a lot of hero matchups because people would draft around it.
You got to sacrifice your MMR. Honestly, a lot of people say that, but like you might have to sacrifice to learn. Like if you want to be #1 MMR, good for you. But if you want to be a pro player, you have to be willing to learn, as you say.
So they're going to take out a lot of those strong heroes right now in the second phase. They're kind of banning to protect their first phase. With Infamous, the AA ban, it helps against Tidehunter. You can't remove the debuff, the Ice Blast. So the Tidehunter gets a little squishy, and then from the team of Team Secret, they're taking out Naga and the Mirana, just like a strong 4 with the Shadow Demon. And
always scary.
Yeah.
Naga
also.
Have you seen him play it much? I haven't seen. I mean, I'm pretty sure Hector can always play it, but I have just not seen him play Naga.
I don't think they play it because I think it's not like his type of hero, right? Like he likes to be the one hitting creeps. When you're having these illusions hitting creeps, that doesn't feel the same. You know?
It is just one of the best matchup counters to avoid, though. And I think that's probably what they understand is like, maybe he doesn't play it, but what if he does?
Yeah, you just get rooted and you can't jump away.
Yeah, and you're just, as a void, it's so hard to ever find the real Naga. You just have illusions being thrown at you.
Annoying.
Even a song whenever you chrono, if you don't BKB early.
I mean, and we saw like early in the game when the PL had the diffusal, like this Void had a lot of trouble dealing with it. It's kind of the same with Naga. You get diffused, you're just dead. You're just dead in the water. I do like the Elder Titan ban. Obviously, it's the same as AA. It's something that goes good into there. And oh, yes.
Bringing back some of the old school classic Void counters.
We are in a Whisper. He played a ton of this hero as well in the qualifiers.
So is this Skullfield?
I think it.
Shadow Demon? And a 5 Tide?
That's a good question.
I think they ran a 5 Tide before.
I believe they have. And,
Doom
you know,
Tide,
Gush level 1's not bad.
Yeah, Doom Tide as a 3-4 doesn't sound the greatest. So.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they could obviously be a support Doom, but from what I've seen them playing, it's almost always Whisper Doom.
Oh, Puppy Witch Doctor picked in response. There's a 5 position just to secure that lane to help the Void out, I feel.
I think that's Team Secret watching the replays from yesterday. Their match against Mineski, Ninja Boogie played Witch Doctor against Azai Tide.
Yep.
And he completely ruined the Tide's game for the first 20 minutes. You can't remove Maledict. It's really good against these tanky heroes.
And it's damage inside the Chrono, which is always good. There's the Life Stealer. Yep, we figured they took the Shadow Demon. He's either picking that or Sven. Like, I didn't see them taking any other hero.
Hector classic. He likes going Midas. He likes going Radiance on the hero. He can go Howard as well, kind of help against the Void, force me to go MKB.
Get his casual Belt of Strength.
Yeah, just kind of hold in his inventory for 20 minutes.
Well, Secret probably looking for some damage inside the Chronosphere, I feel, with Yapstor's hero as well. They have got the Death Ward, but can't really go wrong with throwing in some more damage, or at least some follow-up to it.
Yeah, his Mirana and his Rubik are taken out, but the Enigma.
Wow.
There's that late game team fight that Secret loves doing. We saw versus EG in that game too. You have the Enigma, you have the Chrono now. I mean, we didn't talk about, but the Tiny Ags is like almost an end-all be-all of the late game now.
Enigma versus both Tide and Lifesteal feels fantastic. The Doom is the maybe one here that can be annoying, but even that is still like a kind of low cost range. You can't just throw it immediately when you see that Enigma Black Hole come out.
So going to the tournament, a lot of more teams I think prioritized Enigma. Like in the past couple of months, they would kind of first ban it, first pick it, and the idea was that it would almost always win your offlane. You get 1 deny per wave. He also just is one of the best heroes to jungle with right now. But a lot of this meta, this tournament, has been the 4s are a little more free to roam. There's more like creep cutting for them the 3, so the 4s will have a little more open game, and now they can walk at this Enigma jungle.
And it might be a Zai Enigma. That's what we saw yesterday. So who knows? Tiny. I think that's the thing. Tiny Enigma. They're both gonna get farmed no matter what. That's just how Secret plays, and especially with these two heroes.
Lina ban. That's just kind of a stable mid, I think. That if the Tiny's like a support or an offlane, that they can just throw a Lina on mid. He's gonna do fine in whatever matchup. It's also really good against a lot of Chris Luck's heroes. The Ember, the Monkey, the Slark. This Lina is just gonna stun you in the lane, hit you 6 times.
And I didn't see, but I assume Infamous chose last pick. I think for a team like them, getting that last pick for Chris Luck, like he is the most momentum-based mid player, it feels like.
Well, which one of Chris Luck's heroes do you think they would like this game? It seems like a hard Slark game.
I think we still got to see Secrets, right? Because I think they're picking their hero last. Because if it is something like, what if they pick Kunkka? Sure, Slark it up. That's the thing. But what do you think Secret's going to pick first? Do you think they need more team fight, or you already have Enigma, Tiny, Void?
They probably need more lane push from their mid. Like the Lina ban would have been good if it wasn't. If they pick something like OD, it's like they're going to be really greedy. So I think they need like
less greedy.
Less greedy, more pushing lanes, a little sacrificial so that your Void and your Enigma can kind of, you know, claw their way up the net worth.
I could see Secret taking a sniper. In their 9th pick, they've been taking, or their last pick, they've been taking sniper a lot when they don't see the enemy team's middle. And you have the Chrono, you have the Black Hole.
I'd be a little scared against the last pick.
True. I mean, who really counters sniper in the lane? Like, what's his worst matchups, do you think?
That's true. He doesn't really have that many bad matchups these days.
Because you can sit back, you can even shrapnel farm jungle. He loves farming the jungle. Mid one was farming it at like level 3 on the Earthshaker.
They're going to run the Tiny mid. They last pick a bad. They get another hero that doesn't really care too much about the team fight spells, like the Ravage or whatever.
Could be a flex 2, 3 or 4 with the Enigma.
Yeah,
so open lanes.
I think you think it'll probably be a 4 Enigma and Zai on that Abba.
Yeah.
You got tower push now as well, because they were actually kind of missing a little bit of it besides the Enigma.
It lanes really well against Lifestealer. He won't have open wounds for the chase, so if he ever gets open wounds, you shield or removes it, he'll be able to walk away.
All right, you're the mid player, Gunner. You know it's going to be a tiny mid, not much roaming potential. Who are you asking for?
I think I want something to help with my Lifestealer, to rotate around once he wants to infest. You don't really have good infest targets, because this Doom and this Tide are okay, but it's hard for them to like feel comfortable like only jumping the backline, right? They want to jump a core and Doom, and the Tide doesn't want to go in first. So something that's comfortable jumping the backline with the Lifestealer, like a Storm or an Ember type hero, I think is kind of them.
Hey,
it's the Storm.
Because I was going to be like, we don't see him play it that much, and here it is.
They need something that scales. They just had Lifestealer with Tide, Doom, and like teamfight heroes, but no damage. And that's where Storm gives them another late game option.
I like it. I'm not sure how confident he is on the hero. I think I've seen him play in pubs like a fair decent amount, but I don't think he plays it this much this tournament. But it's the same style, right? Like people are playing it more early game than they used to. People used to go this like Treads, Kaya, Bloodstone build, and now they go Treads, Kaya, and they fight with the Overload talent.
All right, well, that's the end of our Game 2 draft. We've got